Greetings, humanity. Just in making sure we have our sound together, and we do. Welcome, one and all to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is the premiere of our new short campaign of the Sprawl, a cyberpunk game by Hamish Cameron or Hamish Cameron, depending on which side of the room you're standing. I have actually not heard his name pronounced, but it is powered by the apocalypse. I am incredibly excited about this because I think we've been talking about this since Gen Con of last year.
Since back when they were allowed to have Gen Cons.
Yeah, so this is so in relative terms, that was like 10 years. Last year was like 10 years ago. So we're gonna go ahead. We're going to do some powered by the apocalypse cyberpunk, and I am very keen to see how this goes. I am as a consumer of such things. I am, as far as cyberpunk RPGs go, I am very cautious when it comes to those nowadays. But as this is PBTA and it's going to be Brian running it, I have faith. So we will see what happens here. But let's go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody and just find out who they are and some favorite bit of cyberpunk media or just one they don't hate. And I am going to go around and start with Anino. Hello.
Hey everyone, my name is Anino. I use he/him pronouns, and a favorite element of cyberpunk tropes is those rare cyberpunk tropes that don't just arbitrarily put Asian symbols and backgrounds into their whole cyberpunk campaign, but not actual Asian people. So looking forward to avoiding that.
I hear you. I hear you. That's it's basically a trope carried over from fear that people had in the 1980s of a thing that was not real. And it's yeah. we can do better. I think we can. Let us now continue on and say hello to Sara. Hello.
Hi everyone. I'm Sara. I use she/her pronouns, and piece of cyberpunk that I really like. Well, for one, I've been listening to the Tron Legacy soundtrack all day long. And I, every couple of years, just need to return to Neuromancer, William Gibson.
Neuromancer is very beautifully written. That's the one thing that I remember most about it. It's been a little while for me.
Yeah.
But the prose was freaking gorgeous. So
that opening line was just perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. And let us say hello to another new face on the channel, Beans. Hello.
Hello, I am Beans. I use they them pronouns. I have a confession. I don't know anything about cyberpunk. Like, I'm diving in feet first. I don't know what's happening, but I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Yay.
That's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Excellent. And let us now also say hello to our MC, Brian. Hello.
Hey, I'm Brian. I use he/him pronouns. So much like Sara, I reread William Gibson's novels a fair amount, and recently just reread everything, every novel he's written up to and now including the new one that just came out. And man, that guy can put a sentence together. So, and one of the things that I do like about those, if you go back to not just Gibson, but Bruce Sterling and a lot of the other seminal cyberpunk authors, it wasn't about just explosions and guns and neon kanji. It was very much a response to unfettered capitalism, which we still haven't gotten rid of. So we have plenty of things to play a game about right now, and looking forward to telling the stories with all of you awesome people.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess shall I cop out and just say Blade Runner?
Oh, yeah.
Because
I mean, come
Totally
on.
fair.
it's funny, really, because I eventually read Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, and that is not cyberpunk, the thing upon which it is based. But they decided, as when they made the movie, to basically put these tropes in and make it into that, and it was an experience that I have not I have yet to recover from. Yea, though I first saw it at least 3 decades ago, if not more.
Yep.
I cannot remember when it was that I first saw
Sticks
Blade
with
Runner,
you.
but yeah, it does. It really does. But thank you all very much for coming. I'm going to go ahead and do the quick reminder here before I hand things off to Brian. Just like we do with most games on this channel, we are going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or like make an X symbol, and we'll back up and we'll do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or we'll put it behind a veil. So it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let folks know that we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it if we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. And that's the one I use most probably. And without further ado, take it away, sir. You have the helm.
Hello. Thanks a lot, Jim. First off, thank you to Jim for producing this and letting me borrow your channel for a whole bunch of Thursdays in a row. And thanks to all of you for playing. I really appreciate you coming in to do this. And I have a suspicion we're going to have a lot of fun. So this is session 0, and what that means in this game is the same thing it means in most games. We're going to be doing world building as well as character generation through this session, and then next session the actual missions and role play and all of that begin. So excuse me, first step is going to be each of us, including me, is going to come up with a corporation that we want in the game, because the whole thing about cyberpunk is that the corporations are the most important things, even more important than individual lives. So you can use this to just like, if you come up with a corporation that does a certain thing, that means that that thing is going to show up in the game. Because these will be the corporations that you interact with the most. There will be other corporations, but these are going to be like the main players. So there will be 5 of them for this game. Does anyone have any ideas about corporation they want to talk about first?
So I've opened fantasynamegenerators.com.
Important.
And I clicked on company names.
Oh, goodness.
And
Yeah.
there are several that I'm looking at right now that I feel as though might suggest something.
Okay.
So I guess the question is if we want something that's there's a company. I should probably just pick one and throw it out. So there is, I think, why not? The one at the top of the list is Raven Sports.
Oh, I like that.
I love that.
That's good.
I feel as
very
though, if we, given what happens with various sporting events, and how big they are now,
Yeah.
just
I'm gonna
the
put that in the
idea
list for you.
of some kind of just big sort of sports media engine.
Got it. So so what's their focus?
What?
I mean, all sports, I'm guessing, because
Probably. They're
yeah, 'cause
probably. Sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead.
They're probably like an ESPN-ish type deal, except, ESPN cubed.
Right.
So they are. I feel as though maybe we're at a point, and you can tell me if I'm going way off the map here. But we may be hitting a point at which esports and contact sports have merged to the degree that you can't really necessarily tell when you're watching whether the person is actually on the field or not.
Yeah.
So
that's happening now, actually. NASCAR is actually competing using video games right now because people can't go to stadiums. So, yep.
I feel like there is this. I feel like there is this really. So they handle a few different sports, right? So I mean, they handle, like, assuming this is future Earth, they handle things, baseball, football, stuff like that. They have that. So they probably have a fairly big still football, the contract with the NFL. But I feel like there should be a sport that involves driving cars around dangerous landscapes with things attached to them that you use them to hurl to like possibly even that you have things attached to the cars that you can hurl a big medicine ball at each other or something. So it's like so it would be kind of like what is the
I have a name for this sport. This sport is going to be called Carmageddon.
Nice, that's it.
Yeah,
amazing.
There you go.
It's so good.
That's it.
Carmageddon, yes.
So, so do they have a contract with the NFL, or are they now the NFL? I mean, do they own the sports leagues as well as the broadcast rights? Is it like they are sports? Is it that? Have we hit that point?
I feel as though what happened is they actually started up their own kind of sort of like an XFL type deal, but eventually.
No,
but they do own the NFL now.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just they did it in everything but name, and eventually it was just like, okay, fine. We're strapped for cash. We make a deal.
That's it. I agree. Okay, that works. So
basically, Vince McMahon is super successful and manages to swallow up every single sport out there.
Yeah, I'm going for the darkest timeline. So
that's not this now. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, you said Vince McMahon was successful. It is fantasy.
Oh yeah.
All right.
This is true.
So, all right.
The more dark timeline.
Yeah.
Going for
the Vanta Black timeline.
The Vanta Black timeline. That's
the one. All right. So Raven Sports, I like that a lot. And as we
thank you.
As we go through not just each of the corporations that we're creating, as we go through the game, we'll add more to what the corporations do and what they are. Generally speaking, every corporation is every corporation of the sizes that we're talking about is pretty well diversified, but each one has the thing it focuses on. So Raven Sports, I mean, clearly they have an automotive division now because, they're making the cars that the drivers are using.
I feel like they swallowed NASCAR at some point.
Yeah. I agree. And so, I mean, you might actually have just regular consumers also buying Raven vehicles that are, painted to look like the race cars.
Yes.
And stuff like that. So, yeah, I like that idea a lot. So anything else on Raven? I think we've got a really good handle on this terrifying media conglomerate with that literally owns all the sports.
Yeah, there's probably I mean, the only other thing I can think of involves licensing, and so they've probably got like some kind of freestanding giant 100-year contract with
absolutely.
Some energy drinks and
perfect. You're right. You're right.
The other sort of deal. They probably have their own branded energy drink lines possibly now from different athletes and what have you. So that kind of deal. So they will have that. They might have like they might own like some auto body shops occasionally. Someone might go to. It's like a branded thing, but it's not really. They're only like a few of them, but it's like a what is the word I'm looking for? It's like yeah. It's not a bespoke type deal, but it's supposed to be ish. You know, what am I
I
saying?
think it would be more more utilitarian, like a national tire and battery. But
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
it's not prestige. It's the one that everyone goes to.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
we're
Or
gonna ground out any sort of personality whatsoever.
that's it. Yeah, you're right.
For
You're right.
sure. Yeah.
All cars have ravens on them, or something like that, or it's
Right.
it's basically like we're back in the goth '90s in some ways when
Yeah.
when one looks at the branding for this company.
Ooh, I like. Oh man, I can see the logo now. Then, yeah, that's going to be awesome. All right. Anyone else with a company?
Fantasy name generator gave me Daydream Corp,
Oh, that sounds terrifying.
which sounds absolutely terrifying, and I'm so here for it. I feel like their main niche and sort of focus is in like things that make your life easier. Like I could just hear the commercial of some like soft-spoken woman, Daydream Corp, we're here for you, or
Nice.
some
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
like stuff like that. You know, just in sort of the shticks of make things, you know, things nobody really needs but that everybody has. Like they're the ones that make the smart refrigerator that can connect to the internet and play videos and stream the Raven Sports things and
Cool. Yeah.
kind of just all, they're more home item oriented, but with that sort of, again, very calming, soothing voice type thing.
I like the idea of the smart appliances
Yeah.
on that. That's a great idea. And of course, if everything's linked, then it's all sending information back to Daydream Corp.
Yep.
So yeah.
Daydream Corp has nice files on everybody. They also can do targeted advertising based on.
Ooh, that's
like,
the one. That's it.
walk down this. It's like the thing. I think it's from Minority Report, where like they're walking
Yeah.
down the street and does the retinal scan and targets your ads for you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh God, yes.
100%.
Man.
Yeah. So they are. They are. Daydream Corp sounds like it's that company that's literally everywhere. Like they own things that you don't know they own. Like
Some,
you know,
subsidiary of subsidiary. Yeah.
yeah, like when you find out that Unilever owns half the food in the world, you know, things like that. It's Daydream is. They're not necessarily trying to hide it, I don't guess, but you know they or maybe they are. Maybe they've set up like false.
They've got many shell companies.
That's
I feel that's like, you know, they've got the Daydream Corp, you know, home appliances things, and that's where they started, and then they just started acquiring other things and keeping the original name intact and doing it very quietly, so that they've been able to collect an enormous amount of information about people.
Yeah, that's it.
And can use that to sell more stuff or do bad things with it.
Right. And market research has shown us that if we have two of our cola products pretending to fight each other, we'll sell more of both. Things like that.
Yep.
So got it.
We own both. Yep.
Nice. I like it. Okay. Okay. So Raven and Daydream. I like this already. Anyone else?
So I'm very torn. I got some really good ones.
Yeah.
So I got, my options are Tortoise Security,
Whoa. Nice.
Banshee Light, and Mermaid Force.
Okay.
What
You know
was
what?
the Banshee one?
Banshee Light.
Oh my gosh. You're right. All of those are good.
Those are
Right.
amazing.
I was like, oh no, I gotta make choices.
Well, and the thing is, we could save those names because I have an idea for a corporation, but I don't have a good name for it. We might be able to fit one of those in. So
I like the Tortoise Security is just really funny.
it
to
is
me. It's
actually.
like in just some way, and I
like that.
Yeah, that's kind of the one I was leaning towards, because I felt like just they're kind of like the security company that everyone goes to, and like, oh yeah, it's just like what you do, but that like they definitely again have all of the information.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
And it's like kind of posed as like this very like good company, like everyone trusts them, but there's definitely some shady things going on. And
Gotcha.
like not just like enforcing like online stuff, but like I'm also just picturing like a turtle logo, and like they're also like in charge of like security officers and like stuff like that, and keeping like.
Excellent point. Yes, so like the night watchman at the mall is Tortoise, and so is the the IT department that is monitoring your computer for viruses, like all of those. I like that.
Like the security desk people.
Yeah.
In the
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly it. Yeah, like everybody in the front desk.
But you don't know if like the security guy is like a person or not, or just another like company like goon or whatever.
Oh yeah. That is very good. And another thing that does bring up is during the course of talking about this, and for that matter, during the course of playing, we will figure out what technologies actually exist in our version of Cyberpunk, in our version of the future. Because what you just said about trying to figure out if that security guard is a person, like that could go a couple of different ways. Like, is it an android? Is it, do we want to have androids? Or, do we not have, now obviously like this being Cyberpunk, we have a lot of people with actual body modifications. So I mean, clearly that's going to be a big part of Tortoise. Is they've all got whatever modifications they need to do whatever jobs they're supposed to do. So you've got like they would have an army of hackers, but they'd also have in terms of the playbooks, they'd have infiltrators and definitely killers, and pretty much anything that you could fit in there, and anyone who's looking for information, they would use infiltrators for that too. So I love that idea. And we don't have to answer these questions right now, but if we hit the point where we realize, hey, we need androids, or we need hover cars, whatever, we go ahead and just decide, yes, we have those, and fill it in. So yeah, I like Tortoise security. So yeah, I like everything from antivirus software to physical guards.
Antivirus software that just conveniently allows data to keep going back to.
Of course it does. Yeah, there's always the back doors, and those are jealously guarded, which means that hackers who used to work for Tortoise can like still know how to find those. All right. Let's see. That is 3 of our 5. Anino, do you have one? Because if not, I do.
No, let's hear what yours is.
Okay. The one that I want is just this metastasized form of the gig economy. So they run multiple apps that allow you to basically hire or summon anything. Meaning, like if I need a pizza, or I need a ride somewhere, or I need a lawyer, or a brain surgeon, or whatever, you've got people who are on the app who are, so it's basically Uber for whatever. And but I don't have a good name for it. I'm trying to come up with that. And also one of the touchstones on this, because they'd have a darker version of this too. Has anybody been watching Westworld, especially the latest season?
I have not seen the latest season yet.
The latest season is the best cyberpunk show that has ever been on TV. I wasn't expecting it to turn into that, and I'm so glad it did. But I'll go ahead and spoil a thing because it shows up in like the first episode. The character that's played by Aaron Paul. First off, Aaron Paul, but secondly, he it's basically Uber for criminals. So you sign up for the app, and the app says, "Hey, we need some people to commit this crime. Say yes or no." And if you say yes, it goes, "Show up here, bring a gun or whatever, and do this thing." And the app looks exactly like you'd expect the app to look. It's got all the cool sound effects and things. So so there would also be a version of the app that this company runs that would hire people like your characters, people who are looking for exactly this kind of work. And this also fits in similar. It fits in a little bit with Daydream and Tortoise in that they are also collecting all of this information. If you've got and whether you're using the legitimate version of it or not, but it also allows them to claim that none of these people are their employees. It's got all of the advantages and disadvantages of the actual gig apps that are out there. But yeah, I'm looking for a name for this company. Any suggestions?
What about something super generic and bland?
Nice.
Like Alpha
Okay.
Solutions.
Yes.
Like it's just the blandest,
Yes.
nondescript name possible.
It has to be. You're exactly right. Yeah. I like Alpha Solutions. I don't think I'm going to come up with anything better than that. Okay. Yeah. A name that means literally nothing. Okay, so it's basically just the gig economy. Whoops, can't spell. For literally everything. And got it. Okay. And again, we'll flesh these out as we need to over the course of. Because these are the companies that are going to be hiring you for stuff. These are also the companies that you'll be running missions against over the course of the next 4 sessions.
Finally, Craigslist comes out with an app, and it
That's
destroys everything.
You're right. Yeah, it is. It's Craigslist. Yeah, it is. It's Craigslist. Craigslist meets Uber is really kind of what we have.
Craigslist for crime.
That's it. Also Craigslist for crime. Well, that's also Craigslist.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
All right, so we have 4 of the 5. And I'm making a list of these that will be on the Roll20. Once I save it, you'll be able to see it. Right now, I'm just taking the notes that we're talking about. And just while Anino's thinking about his, just to give you a look ahead to the final step of what we're doing. Once you have your characters, each of you is going to come up with links to each of the other characters. And the way you do that is you come up with a job that you or a mission that you ran in the past, and it's going to be against one of these corporations. The person to your left, and we'll figure out how to determine who's on your left in a minute. I'll let you know who that is. The person on your left was definitely involved in that mission with you or possibly against you. And then everyone else, meaning the other 2 of you, get to decide whether or not you were on that mission as well. And I'll go into a lot more detail on this when we get to that step, but I just want to let you know that that's coming. And the more times one of these corporations shows up on any of the jobs that you were involved in, like the more times each of you was involved in a job involving that corporation, that corporation is that much more aware of you as a team, meaning that if all of you get pick, say, Raven Sports, if all of you were involved in something with Raven Sports and it keeps going around, by the end of this, Raven Sports is going to really try to be killing all of you, and because they hate you. So just letting you know that is an option. That I'll give you more details on that, but just letting you know that that's the first way that these corporations are going to directly affect your characters. So also be thinking about that. Also, now that I've said that, it is entirely possible for any of your characters to have actually worked for any of these corporations at some point in the past, or even possibly still. You can work for a company and still, have your side gigs and things like that, because the companies still pretty much rule everything.
I'm sorry, I've been clicking on fantasy name generator and I just ended up with pumpkin navigation.
Whoa!
And I can't deal with that right now.
I think that needs to be in my D&D game.
It's just like you get it's like Google Maps, except it's a pumpkin in the middle of the...
Yeah.
It's just so many ways that, yeah.
I like it.
Some of them are so good, and then some of them are just so bad.
Yeah.
Like one of mine was diamond.
It was
man.
one word too. It wasn't space. It was pumpkin navigation.
Navigation.
One word.
Okay.
2 ends, one word.
Nice.
Why not? Why not, indeed?
That just looks weird.
Yeah. And then like Midnight Foods and Loki Industries. Yeah.
Ooh.
Those are good.
Oh, Loki
Those are good
Industries
names.
is very good.
Oh,
I could do a lot with that.
Yeah. I had like Mysticor and Nemo Force and things like that.
Whoa,
Gnome
Nemo-
Electrics.
Ooh.
Electrics.
All right. That one's good. That one's very good.
That was some
Okay.
good names.
Yes. We've abandoned the rest of the session 0 in favor of just coming up with...
We're just going to
coming
read
up
the
with
cool names.
corporation
And you know what? I got no problem with that. All right.
Some of them are
So
good.
let's see. All right. So to recap, what do we have? We have Raven Sports, Daydream Corp, Tortoise Security, and Alpha Solutions. So do we have anything, any niche we haven't filled yet? I like the range we've got right now.
I'm just going to go with a company called Monolith Commerce.
Dang.
Amazing.
Yes.
I think you can all think about which company I'm referring to.
Could be any number, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty sure I can tell from the name, but just to spell it out, what do they do?
They have a gigantic platform in which people will buy and trade goods on
Got it.
that you'll likely not be able to sell anything unless you are on that platform.
Got it.
Ah, yes, that
Monolith
platform.
Corporation,
Yeah.
you said?
Commerce.
Yeah. So
Commerce.
it sounds like Monolith is wrapped up the goods trade, and Alpha Solutions has the services.
Mhm.
So nice. I like that a lot.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's like Alibaba wishes they could be that big.
I am glad actually that you did spell it out a little bit, because unfortunately I have Space Quest in my youth, and so Monolith to me means a slightly different company.
Oh, good point. Good point. Yeah, that's a whole other direction. Not a bad one, but
I also have 2001 in my youth, so
Oh, yeah.
so there's another thing it can mean, but we're not
as
sure.
do I. Okay, I like what we have here. Okay, yeah, so we have a media conglomerate. We have we have Daydream, which is I like just the things that make your life easier.
Yeah, just generically.
That's very good. Tortoise Security, which is directly terrifying. And then Alpha Solutions and Monolith Commerce, that between the two of them, I think you're right, Anino. I think, yeah, if you're not associated with one of those, you're going to find it really hard to A, get a job, and B, buy or sell anything with the money that you get from that job. Nice.
There's a suggestion from Chad about Daydream being advertising. Just like not only in their data collection, but actually in the full marketing of it. And I really like that idea.
Totally agree. I think that's very good.
Ooh. Cool.
Okay. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. Yeah, let me yeah, so yeah, the that makes a lot of sense because they have the targeted advertising, but which means that the other companies will go to them in order to the ones that need to advertise. And actually, that's all of them.
Yep.
Literally everything we've come up with needs to advertise in some manner. So yeah, we don't have anything. Oh, and that makes even more sense because
Like they make the smart fridge too, but
Yeah.
their big money is in all the advertising that they do for people.
totally agree. Yeah, in fact, maybe that's how they started out, like some other companies I can think of. So, and then eventually they made hardware. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah, because and those ads would run on all of Alpha Solutions apps. And there is no option for not having an ad supported version of that app. I mean, even if you're paying a monthly fee for it, it still
You
has
still
ads.
get ads.
Yeah. Maybe you're paying for this is awesome. Maybe you're okay. So yeah, you pay them and the ads become more targeted instead of just being the more generic ads. But really what you're paying them for is even more information about you. So yeah, I like that a lot.
I will pay you for the privilege of knowing more about me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll pay for it one way or the other. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to save that. Actually, save changes. Yes. Okay.
It's good to accept change.
It is. I will post this list of corporations to the Discord later, so you can see them. But it's also, in fact, if I hit show to players, I think it'll actually show it to players. There we go. So, so those are just the notes that we took, so we can remember which corporations are out there. And let's see. So now that was an awesome first step. The next step is to choose a playbook. And I know we talked about this a little bit, speaking of Discord, threw some ideas around. So anybody have an idea of what they want to play?
I'd love to play
driver.
the hacker.
Got it. Okay, hacker it is. And I'm sorry, what'd you say, Anino?
I picked the driver.
Driver it is. Okay, good. Oh, and we have the Carmageddon possible tie-in for your driver. One way or the other. So
here's a tie-in coming right at you.
Yeah.
At 120 miles per hour.
Yep.
You haven't even heard my character idea yet.
Oh God.
I cannot wait.
Looking forward to getting to that one. We'll hit that. Let's see. So anyone else got playbook ideas?
Oh, I was thinking of playing Infiltrator.
Ooh, I love the Infiltrator. Okay, good. All right. Infiltrator's got some actually one of the things I like about this game is everybody's custom moves are really cool. But I default to sneaky types, so Infiltrator is one of my favorite ones. So Jim, any ideas?
So I'm torn between a couple, and you can perhaps help me figure out what I want to do, as though in real life. I am thinking about. I'm kind of torn between the reporter and the killer.
Okay.
Because so like, it's I like the idea of someone trying to dig up information about people and things and trying to sort things out that way. Although we might already have that with the infiltrator, possibly.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover between those. What it boils down to is the focus between the two, or the focus each one has. Is really the difference between those two playbooks.
Yeah. So I mean but the possibility I was thinking is because of course I grew up on Max Headroom, so I was thinking about doing a reporter just for the Edison Carter of it all. and the glorious frustration that comes with that.
Also that, yeah.
I was thinking about the killer as basically the possibility of someone that's like perhaps trying to learn how to be human, because I haven't done one of those recently.
That's cool.
The very nice and calm and polite person who can then immediately reach out and snap someone's neck.
Right. Exactly.
As a possibility. I also just saw the tech playbook and was thinking, I might do something there, but I don't have any ideas attached to that. That was just like, there's a playbook. But
tech is good too. I will say that right now with let's see, with Hacker and Infiltrator, Hacker and Infiltrator are going to be not behind the scenes by any means, but definitely we've got them to cover. Okay, so there are two phases to every mission. There's the legwork phase, which is the one in which you gather your information, make your plans, and there are specific rules for that. And then there's the actual mission phase, in which you enact it. And everybody has things that they can do in both phases. So you're not going to be sitting out either phase. But people like the Infiltrator and the Hacker will be more active during the legwork phase for obvious reasons, because they have more information gathering moves, is really kind of how that boils down to. However, having said that, Infiltrator and Hacker also get to do things during the mission phase too.
Right.
See pretty much every cyberpunk thing ever.
Yeah.
And the driver, similarly, the driver will be mostly active during the mission phase, but also vital during certain parts of legwork. So if we wanted to split it, like I would say both tech and killer have definite mission phase stuff. If you wanted to do it that way, and if you're concerned about the overlap between reporter and infiltrator, you might, if you were looking for a niche no one else has. Both killer and tech are not really covered. There's some crossover between tech and hacker, but not. But it's really more cooperation than worrying about stepping on each other's toes.
I think since since I've got at least a sliver of idea for the personality, I think I'm gonna go with the killer.
Okay. And now that we have chosen those, one of the other things I like about this game is pretty much any collection of playbooks will work together. It's just that collection, the collection that you choose does very specifically change the types of missions that you're going to be on. For example, if you have a driver, it's up to me to make sure that I have some place for Anino's character to drive, or operate drones or whatever that's going to be. By the same token, I have to make sure that the hacker gets stuff to hack. The infiltrator has things to sneak around in, and now that we have a killer, also, I said that not all cyberpunk is about explosions and guns and stuff like that, but some of it is, and at least some parts of the missions, now that you have a killer, are gonna be. So there will be some shooting. And also we did talk about safety tools, etc. And this is a game in which violent stuff happens. This is a game in which your characters will be hired to do violence against property and other people. I am not interested in graphically describing any of it, but content warning for the players as well as anyone watching. Violent stuff will happen. That will be the thing. I don't want to. It won't even necessarily be the focus, but it is the nature of the game itself. So let's see. I like that collection of playbooks a lot. And you are not locked into what you just decided. If during this conversation you realize, no, that wasn't what I wanted to play, I'm going to have to do another thing. Feel free. You are not. I'm not going to make you stick with what you just decided. Having said that, I like this combination. I think it's going to be really good. So the next thing to do is choose a handle or a street name for your character. Tell us what your character looks like. Tell us what your character's pronouns are. If you look at the playbooks, they have some suggestions for each one as far as looks and names. Even those are not exhaustive. Those are just good suggestions for what your character looks like or otherwise. So let's go around. Anyone want to go first?
I've got a name.
Okay.
So a hacker. Her name is Valkyrie.
Oh, that's a good name.
And uses she, they somewhat interchangeably, pronoun wise. Looks is average height, kind of pale skin, much like myself.
Got it.
And just absolutely completely covered arms in tattoos.
Ooh,
that
very
look
good.
A lot like circuitry.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And has her hair color changes on basically an every other day basis.
Also very cool.
Currently pastel pink.
So is that something that she has to dye, or does she have like special hair that she can just change the color of? Like, did she order the hair that she can just go, it's blue today?
I'd say there's probably some sort of like maybe a gene mod or something where she can
Perfect.
like program her hair color.
Programmable hair. We're on it.
Programmable hair color.
I am
That's
for
my
that.
dream. So yeah.
I would also like that. Nice. Okay. Programmable hair is my favorite phrase of the game so far. That's going to be good. Okay. Got it. Okay. So, and also, while we're going around, if you haven't already, look over the playbooks and look at the moves that you might want, because after we introduce everybody, the next thing you're going to choose is moves and stats. And if you have any questions about that along the way, obviously, feel free to ask. I'm here to answer those. Who wants to go next? Is it Beans? Oh, you're muted. Oh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, audio not coming through.
Yeah, you're not officially muted.
So it might
Oh,
be
no.
a yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
we
can
got
hear
you.
you now.
It was
Nailed
when
it.
the mic was on, the mic switched for some reason. I
Ah.
was like, hey, let's listen to something else. I was like, no. Sorry, I don't know. It likes to do that. But
I have accidentally leaned on my mic control before, and that
Mhm.
that did it.
I did need to mute myself, and then I was like, go back to the things before. No, not what I wanted.
Been there.
So, what I was trying to say is my character's name is Mouse.
Ooh, a good name. All right.
They are they use they them pronouns. They are like kind of average looking is the goal. Kind of like a little short, very thin, very kind of wiry, like big round glasses, short, like very like probably buzzed in the back, short brown hair. Could be a kid, could be a young adult. It's not very clear. Just very kind of young looking, but like kind of like baggy sweatshirt, like just looks
Nice.
like very chill. Does not looks very unassuming. Just like, why wouldn't you trust? Like they seem like pretty like average and like,
Yeah.
they wouldn't do anything.
Fits
very
into
chill.
fits into a lot of different kinds of
Mhm.
environments. Yeah, got it. Okay.
Yeah, could just blend in. Just just hanging out.
Very cool. All right, got it. Okay, and let's see. And let me get Infiltrator listed on that one. Got it. Okay. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right.
So my character's name is Bill.
Got
Just
it.
Bill.
Okay.
And said he has brown eyes, a blank face, he's kind of unfit, wears utility clothes, and is of South Asian descent.
Got it. Whoops. That whoops was for me making 3 typos in a row. Got it. Okay. Okay, Sethe is in like a little out of shape. Is that the
Yeah, that's pretty much it. The best way I'm going to describe him is prepare to be whelmed.
I like
Not
it.
underwhelmed, not overwhelmed, just whelmed.
Just-
Whelmed.
Just whelmed.
Just perfectly whelmed. Very nice. All right, so Jim.
I just this second came up with the character's name.
Uh-huh.
As he doesn't remember his real name. If he had one, he's mostly a machine.
Mhm.
And his identifier, I guess the model of what he is what folks call him. He's sort of a security cyborg drone thing.
Gotcha.
And the name is Gendarme.
Oh, excellent.
But people just call him John.
Yeah.
And it's basically he they pronouns essentially.
Whoops.
Probably it's he doesn't really think about it much. And he mostly looks like he has a representation of a human face.
Terrifying sentence.
Yes, it is.
I like it.
He has and so he's roughly human shaped. But maybe a tiny bit bulkier, but not by much.
Right.
He is heavily armored, and basically, I think I'm making a strange kind of private version of RoboCop. Here.
Yeah.
Sort of
Okay.
a private security RoboCop type.
Yeah. Cool.
Being here, who just so he's got armor plating and also just basically is very nice to everyone.
I'm looking forward to the cyberware step to see exactly how much of it you end up with. So those are the names and descriptions. The next two, actually, really, the next 3 steps kind of go together. You can do them in any order you want. Strictly speaking, you can do any of these in any order you want, but these 3 really kind of glom together. So we're choosing stats, and your playbook should list the way to assign those stats and suggestions for the ones that ought to be high. But I would recommend looking over the custom moves for your playbook, because some of them depend on certain stats, and you may want to make sure that those are high. Or if you want to, challenge, make them low. That works too. And we will also be choosing cyberware. So all of it kind of goes together. The cyberware stage does have its own set of questions that I will ask you, which will also tie you to the setting in different ways. So if you have some ideas about your moves and stats first, do those. But if you want to jump into cyberware, we can also do that. We don't have to stick to, like I said, any specific order. If whatever is exciting you to talk about at this point. And also, everyone has access to the moves for your character, right? Have you got those? Okay.
I think so.
And so for each character, you have 1 or 2 moves that you automatically get, and those are followed by a list of moves where you choose. Usually, you choose 1, or sometimes. Actually, is it 1 or 2? It depends on the playbook, I think.
Yeah.
Let me double check this. So.
Yeah, I get 2. I get one that is built in, and then one that I choose.
That's the one. Okay. And some people, I think the Infiltrator might be the one that starts out with 2, if I'm remembering
I get
right.
2 as well.
Yeah. So, and by the same token, let's see. Yeah, the driver, for example, starts out with neural interface. And then, which is, that's the other reason that cyberware is tied into this, because some some playbooks start out with specific cyberware. For example, the hacker definitely also has a neural interface. Otherwise, you kind of can't do your job. The driver, just to use Bill as an example, the driver gets wheels, which means you get to design a vehicle. And then second skin, which is a bunch of cool stuff you get to do with your vehicle. And then you choose another one from the list below. So if anybody, and we can talk those out. If you have any questions about any of these, some of the terms, for example, when you get down to gear, as well as some of the other things, some of the terms are probably not defined in the PDFs I sent you. So if you have any questions about those, I can give you more information about that. For example, when you get down to gear, a lot of the tags that are on the gear that you choose are pretty self-explanatory, but some of them are not. So I can help you out with those and look up that information if you need it.
Where did this go? I completely lost where I was in this, but refers to something about Chapter 8, The Matrix, which I could not find.
Oh, that's because I need to make that available to you, and I did not do that. But now that we have a hacker, you're going to want to read that. So, yeah. I'll make sure you have that. I'll get it up. I'll get it up before, like probably just after this session.
Perfect.
I'll put it in the same folder with the other stuff, so you'll be able to grab those.
Thank
you. I'll mention over in the Discord once it's up for you to grab.
Perfect. Thank you.
You won't need any of that information for this session, but you specifically will need it. And if the infiltrator has one move that actually it's one optional move, but the infiltrator does have a move that also allows them to do some hacking. So if you end up choosing that one, you'll want that too. But the infiltrator has so many cool moves. That the problem is, I played an infiltrator last time I played this, and it took me forever to decide which move to pick because I'm like, I want them all. These are so cool.
There's too many options.
There are so many really cool options. So yeah, and that's kind of the case with all of the optional moves. Is I want to be able to do all of these things. The good news is that chances are, since we're doing 4 sessions, you'll probably get enough experience points after probably the first 2 missions to afford an upgrade to get new moves. So before this short campaign is over, chances are you'll get a chance to add at least one move to your list.
Cool.
All right. Yeah, there we go. Okay. And I'm looking at some of the other ones. But yeah, if anybody's just thinking out loud or has any questions or want suggestions, I know a lot of this part's just going to be literally just kind of reading through the list. So,
what is ice? Because I've got a couple of moves that reference that.
Yeah, ice is basically the as a hacker, those are the programs that are trying to either keep you from getting to the stuff you want to get to when you're in a system, or in some cases actually kill you. There are different kinds of ice. So, well, I mean, you've read Neuromancer. So, it's the countermeasures that Case was running into. Like some of which are literally just firewalls and your typical kind of stuff you have to get past. Some of the other ones, some of them will just alert the sysop that there's an intruder or AI or whatever. But then the ones called black ice are the ones that actually attempt to cause physical harm to you or your deck.
Cool.
So if you get one of the ones that's really good at handling those, you've got options for either bypassing those or just getting rid of them.
So, okay, just to make sure, so there's there's a couple moves that specify black ice and another one that just is ice in general. Does that mean that it's any ice situation?
Yes.
It didn't specify? Okay.
Exactly. If it just, for example, Icebreaker is all
Yeah.
ice, whereas Neural Scars and Black Ice Vet are specifically
Specific.
Black Ice. Yeah.
Got it.
So
Okay.
the one armor against Black Ice does mean that like it can hit you. It just doesn't do as much damage as it does to other people, and you look like a complete badass.
Got it. But Icebreaker means that I can just, once a Matrix run, I can just be like, nope.
Yeah,
And-
exactly. You can
yeah.
nope right out of it. Yeah, you're just like, I don't think so.
Not today.
Yeah. I am particularly good at this. And just like I said with the other stuff, just because you choose these things today, if you at some point decide that that wasn't the right decision for you, we can change stuff later. It's you're not going to get, you're not going to get locked into something that you discover isn't fun just because you made a decision today. So
Appreciate that.
yeah, I'm not about that.
By the way, I have decided that Valkyrie definitely works for Tortoise.
Nice. So she is still officially employed by Tortoise.
Absolutely.
I
Still
like it.
officially employed. But, fucks around on it in her free time.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that doesn't keep her from also running missions against Tortoise.
No.
So, no, you're just
It
like,
makes them real efficient, actually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Running missions against it.
super easy. Yeah. It just
Let me get you a paycheck from you on my day job and a paycheck against you on my side gig.
That's exactly it.
Win-win.
What's the worst that could possibly happen? They'll never find
can't
out.
possibly
Oh, no.
backfire against them at all.
Absolutely never find out.
Mm-mm.
I like this plan. This is a good plan.
Also, my one-liner description of Valkyrie is looks like they exist on a steady diet of energy drinks and 90s techno rave.
That's so good.
That is excellent. That works for me.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, let me get over to Killer 2. I want to see what those options are.
Every time I think I've made a decision, I'm like, oh, but what about this?
I know it. Yeah, that. Welcome to my world. That's kind of my problem too.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the skill wires
Yes.
and how that works.
Okay, so the skill wires are, especially if you get them during during character generation, like right now, it basically allows you to do things that normally you haven't trained for, you start out with 2 slots. Yeah. Okay. So at the beginning of the game, you'll have 2 slots, and you'll start with 2 skills, and really, unless you have a really good idea for what you want those skills to be, I'm not going to make you decide right now, because to me, it's a lot more fun for you to just leave those as black boxes until you're into the mission. And then you're like, oh, well, obviously I have the parkour one. I'm going to parkour over there and do the thing. Or, I have the lock picking one. Now I'll pick the lock, whatever you need. But once you make that decision, that's what that skill wire is.
Gotcha.
So, to me, at least for that first mission, it just means that you were obviously super prepared for that thing. And you do have the option to get more skill chips, but you can only run 2 at the same time. So you may have a collection of things that you can do 2 of simultaneously. You just have to figure out what your combination is if you collect more chips.
Cool. I like that one.
Yeah, it's the I know Kung Fu.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what I wanted to do anyway. It's like, oh, so small. Pow.
Yeah. It's like, I don't always need to be able to punch someone in the face, but today I can punch you right in the face. Yeah.
Today I do.
Yeah, this was your unlucky. This was not your lucky day. I brought Jeet Kune Do. So, oops.
Nice.
Though, and as you can see from the list there, it's not all physical stuff. You could also, I like one of them is first aid. There's another military history and tactics, things along those lines that, uh, like, they are also very good for pretending to be things, which is one of the stuff, which is one of the things the infiltrator gets to do. So if you want to pretend to be like an executive or something like that, you can find the right combination of chips that will make you knowledgeable enough about whatever it is that executive would know about. Things like that.
Gotcha.
So I was wondering, do we want to maybe take a quick break?
That is a great idea. And when we come back, we'll get the rest of the moves and we'll get the moves in the cyberware.
Cool. Yeah, I've been looking over things, and I think I've figured out my path here.
Yeah, and this is one of the strengths to this game is also kind of a disadvantage is that I think everyone has already encountered. There's just too many cool choices. So
much.
I got it. But yeah, I'm ready for a break, and I'll be back in a bit.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to break real quick. I've got, and I believe I have an interview set up in there.
Nice.
Either that or I'm going to be scrambling around backstage figuring something out real quick. So we will see you in a few minutes. See you shortly. Welcome to the break. I have Trooper SJP with me today to talk about all manner of things. Hello.
Hello.
Yay.
All manner of things.
All manner of things. But one thing I wanted to start out with, though, is just you do streaming and a great deal of RPGs. How did you get into streaming in the first place?
It must have been 5 or so years ago when I was watching Geek and Sundry, and that's what got me into streaming. I mean, I wasn't one of the old video game Twitch folks. I got into it through RPGs. And I was watching Geek and Sundry, and that sort of led me to Hyper, which led me to one particular, and I was doing sort of community stuff, and that led me to one of their GMs, and I became a mod in her channel, and Random Tuesday, she's great. And the thing that happened was that I thought, well, this would be fun, but I can't stream because I'm a teacher, and that might be weird. Like, what if my students find me? Like, I just don't know. I don't know if I could do that. It just might not be logistically feasible. And then she ended up streaming on her own channel. She's just started streaming, not just through Hyper RPG, but on her own. And I became a mod. And I thought, she is not only a teacher, she's like a middle school, elementary school teacher. Like, and I'm teaching university students who cares? They're all, you know what I mean? Like, if they actually see me, it probably wouldn't make a big difference. And seeing her do it, and having someone that I could ask questions to and figure out, okay, well, what are the logistics? How does one do this? Like, how do you deal with, because this streaming is not just, can you get the tech up, but it's also, okay, well, do I have to worry about my students finding me? How do you manage the emotional part? And having a model of somebody who was able to create a community and sort of manage it well made me think, oh yeah, no, I can do this. And I started off easy mode, doing streaming through my PS4, because the PS4 has a button, and I don't actually have to know. I didn't have to know how to do OBS or anything like that, and that just started it. And from there, I figured out how to do OBS, and then from there, like little bit by little bit, I was able to work through it. And I mean, what's interesting to me is that it's a much larger. There's a lot more to it than one might initially think. Especially, are you going to have a Discord and sort of try to do community building through that as well on top of it? Will you do games, RPGs? How are you going to sort of think about getting art or not for sort of setting everything up? What kind of experience do you want to have? And I suppose, what kind of streamer do you want to be? And I learned that there are these streamers who play, I don't know, Fortnite, and they have 18 million viewers every time they show up, and they also stream 80 hours a week. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. That won't be that is interesting, but not interesting for me. And people always say things like, oh, if you want to be more popular, you could stream these things. And I was like,
yeah,
I'm going to stream what's interesting. And then I think what's great about that is that you then cultivate a community who is there for that. And then you can stream the kinds of things that you're interested in and get a community of people who are also interested in those things. And it's just nicer.
Cool. Now, I see that. Speaking of getting into streaming communities, I was looking through your website, and I see that you did a newsletter for one of the. Was it a Hyper RPG show?
It was, yes. It
was for their Shadowrun game.
Yes.
Would you like to talk about it a little bit?
Sure. So you know how some people are. There are different types of gamers out there. And I have always been a sort of a character-driven simulationist gamer, whereas I'm really interested in the world itself and how people interact in that world. And one of the things I've always loved to do as a GM is, depending on the setting, is create newspaper stories. Because I like to, rather than having a set plot that I do, I tend to have a world, and there are people in the world who have plots they have going on, but who knows what will happen. And I really like to have a world where the players impact the world both in small and large ways. And I always wondered, well, how do I let the players know in an organic way the ways in which they're impacting the world? And having a newspaper was one of those ways that I would do it, where I would sort of come out with a newspaper every couple of sessions that would sort of mark in these small and subtle ways the ways in which they've impacted the world, as well as have plot hooks. And so for this game, which I loved, I thought, well, what could I do? And what I decided to do was to create a reporter character who was in the world that the show was set in. And I thought, okay, here's a person. The challenge for myself is to write stories based on only what was happening in the public of that game. So any kind of conversations happening behind closed doors, a reporter would never know about. But if there's a firefight downtown on the freeway, a reporter would know about that. And then sort of writing these stories that would sort of inform the community that had grown up, because there was a bit of a metagame in that particular RPG as well, where viewers could sort of do faction turns. And so I was reporting on the faction turns, and I was reporting on all the public things, and other people became really inspired, and they would also submit stories. And it was just this kind of neat sort of in-game world to show in some ways the ways in which the average person on the street might view Shadowrunners, PCs, and the ways in which that might impact regular folks. And that was really fun. And that was a big project in the end, to sort of put out a newspaper every week. But it was good. It was really good. That was great fun. And that was one of my first my personal big entrance as more than just a viewer for a stream community.
It's a very interesting thing, really, because it's just I think it just shows how early on we still are with this whole medium, that it can be that engaging. But I haven't heard of many streams doing something like that as of yet. Yeah. But it's very cool. It's very cool.
And it's all about, I think that's all about player investment, right? Yeah. Or viewer investment, and the different ways in which you can get viewer investment. And I think Hyper RPG does a lot, but a lot of the ways in which shows will generate viewer investment is through donations, but that's not the same thing as having viewers create things. Yeah. And how do you create a show that allows viewers to create things without negatively impacting the campaign? Yeah. Which can happen in all sorts of ways. I mean, I've seen shows where people are able to donate, and donate will get you things, but what that ends up doing is skewing. Like, well, now the players have 18 advantage things, and you're like, well, that's going to be a little bit rough, or trolling happens or whatever. So ways in which you can get a healthy engagement that encourages players to sort of take on the living world and sort of, you know what did that actually really well? Mm-hmm. It was Shield of Tomorrow had this Discord channel, which was Shield of Tomorrow was a Star Trek RPG on Geek and Sundry. Mm-hmm. And they had in their Discord, they had an RP set of RP channels, and the players would just sort of make up crew members for this sort of Star Trek ship that were that were on different shifts, right? So they were never seen, but they were around. And then the cast, the GMs saw who they were and then noted them down. So like, oh yeah, so the person who's on shift 3 is so-and-so, and would like name check these people that the viewers had sort of created. And ways in which you can interact that way, I think I'm really excited to see how that can go.
Me too, absolutely. Very much looking forward to how this whole medium evolves as time goes on. Well, thank you very much for coming and chatting with us for a bit. If folks want to find you online, where should they go?
Ooh, you can find me on Twitch at TrooperSJP, which is where I do my streaming. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter, where I speak randomly about things, inconsistently, intermittently, and oddly, and too verbosely. You can find me in either of those places.
We encourage verbosity on this channel. Excellent. All right. Well, folks, I'm going to throw things back over to me, or possibly to a video graphic of some kind if we're still backstage panicking, which we probably are. But in the meantime, we will see you later. We have returned.
Hooray!
So, my other question about the driver is this skill or this perk here called Right Tool for the Job. You have 2 additional cyberlinked vehicles built
Yes.
using the same method. So does that mean I can have both a car and a helicopter and a...
It does. Vehicle is a vehicle. You just choose the frame.
Sweet.
And in your case, that also includes drones if you're interested in doing it that way. So
Yeah, that was my thing because I was trying to decide whether or not I wanted to do hot shit driver
Yeah.
or drones. But I feel like my character would be more along the lines of the hot shit driver.
Got it. Okay.
Rather than, just send a drone to do it. Which would also be in line with him. But,
Exactly. Yeah. So you're if you do Right Tool for the Job, you get that scene where you go into your garage and you've got all the vehicles. Wherever it is you decide to keep them, or if it's a helicopter, whatever whatever works.
A vector thrust Panzer. I'm just trying to think of how do you justify owning one of those?
That's
Because it's cool.
well, first off, it's cool, but secondly, that's up to us to figure out, isn't it? So,
I mean, if you're the one who owns it, you don't have to justify it at that point. Who's going to question you?
That's an outstanding point. But yeah, literally, any of the things that are on that frame list are yours to choose from. So
Okay. Well, I designed my first vehicle.
okay.
So
tell us about that.
Okay, so it's a car. It's of civilian design.
Okay.
So it's a quiet workhorse, nondescript, and cramped. And it also packs an autocannon. So basically, his main driver, because you might need one.
It comes in handy sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Got it. Okay. So by cramped, okay, does it? I like the idea of cramped, and again, we don't have to make any specific decisions about this, but I like the idea that you could fit a passenger in. It's just not comfortable.
Well, I mean, like it would basically be like driving to a heist in a Toyota Corolla.
Exactly.
And I'm pretty sure that the recoil on the autocannon is going to shift the vehicle in some fashion.
Right. So just to make sure I get this right, though, it looks like a regular car under normal circumstances. Like if you're driving it around, no one's gonna look twice until you shoot at something. So
until I shoot at something, if I shoot at something in general, but it's basically used to be as forgettable as possible.
That's great. Well, and that fits in with the Infiltrator too. That's I like that idea. So you guys are under the radar, both in vehicle and personality. That's cool.
But people
and then
will
there's your hacker covered in tattoos with changing hair color.
I mean, I think it makes sense.
I am not subtle.
You are not subtle. Yeah.
Not something that Valkyrie has ever even considered as something they should attempt.
No, neither. I like that idea. I like it that the hacker and the killer are not even remotely subtle. But I
feel like it has to balance out. I think
it does actually. We have 2 of each, and we sort of have like in a bunch of different combinations.
There's a nice weird Venn diagram happening here.
That's what I'm saying. Like in multiple ways, we've got the hacker and the infiltrator who are in a lot of ways your legwork people, and then we've got the driver and the killer who are very much the mission people. But then again, we've got the driver and the infiltrator who are generally speaking under the radar. And then as we pointed out, not so subtle with the hacker or the killer. So does the lack of subtlety apply to your hacking as well? I mean, are you just like I was here?
I think she understands the concept and necessity of stealth.
There are times. I got it.
There are times when stealth is necessary.
Yeah.
She thinks she doesn't use it that often. She's very much like a brute force attack.
When we get to the part where you choose directives, which is one of the ways in which your character will gain experience, there's one or two that you might be be attracted to. I'll make sure I point those out.
Love it. But yeah,
I mean, you're all professionals.
When Valkyrie's been in your system.
Perfect.
Makes me think of Ed in Cowboy Bebop, where you just see like her little face. And you're
perfect.
Like,
oh my God,
no.
that's really good.
Like, oh no, what have I done? It's like
yeah. Exactly. So Valkyrie, I like that idea. So Valkyrie, under normal circumstances, like Valkyrie's default is all just like leaving signatures and doing stuff. Valkyrie has to make an effort to be like, if the job requires it, Valkyrie has to make the effort not to be herself. It's kind of the way it goes. Okay.
She's gonna it's like that Bob's Burgers gif of like, fine, but I'm gonna complain the entire way.
Perfect. That's it. Okay. Yeah. Nailed it. Okay. I like that a lot. So that works. Anybody else have any moves? Or we could again, we're talking moves in cyberware, and really the stats can kind of be the last thing you do, because the stats are easy. It's literally just, you choose the order of numbers that you want. But then again, I mean, if you want to do your stats too, that's easy. And having said that, while we're talking, if you all have access to your character sheets, you can go ahead and start filling those in if you know the stuff you want to put in. You don't have to do it during this session. You can do it between now and next session if you want, whatever works best for you. But if you want to use that, it's a good way to take notes and go ahead and start. I see like some of you have already got your names in and stuff like that, which is perfect.
So I think I may be a step ahead.
And that's fine.
Starting to work on Valkyrie's cyber deck, and there's a bunch of programs.
Actually, you are exactly in this step, because that is one of the most important things for the hacker. So is
there just a general, like, all the programs that I can select? Some of them seem to be more like passive bonuses versus active skills. Is there a recommendation?
Yeah, let me see. A lot of it depends on what you want to focus on. And again, like I said before, you can't really make wrong choices. I'm not going to punish you. Like if you didn't take like the one that gives you extra firewall, I'm not going to focus on firewall, stuff like that. So, but yeah, looking at that, since this is, let me see if there's anything. Okay, like, the eject, the +1 forward to jack out, for example. It might not be initially obvious why that's important, but if black ice is after you and you might get to the point where the only way to keep from being actually physically damaged is to eject and just get out of it. So the black ice, if you leave the matrix, the black ice can't hurt you. But there are programs out there whose job is to keep you in the matrix, so then the black eyes can come get you. So just for example, if that would be why you would want the eject program. Now let's see. And as I'm sure you already saw, the type of deck that you choose tells how many programs you get. Mm-hmm. So performance deck will give you one extra program, basically. And I will, like I said, I will make sure that you have the Matrix chapter available to you before too long, so that way you can see exactly what the situation is there and why you would want to choose some of these. And
perfect.
That may also make you change your mind about some of the stuff, because you can see exactly how those rules work.
Okay.
So yeah, I apologize for not putting that out there. I should have also gotten that chapter, but yeah, I'll make sure that you have that information too. And having said that, you don't have to choose your programs right now. You can technically you don't even have to really choose which deck you have immediately, as long as you get it between now and the next session. And we can talk about that on Discord too if you need to.
Okay.
But really, like, Sift is really good if you're going to be okay. So research is something that you would use during the legwork phase, and that'll make things easier during the mission phase. Whereas search for pay data is something you do once you're in there.
Okay.
And search for pay data is almost always like a thing that you're doing just for yourself. You're like, while I'm in here, let's see if there's something I can sell to someone
What
else.
else? Since
Yeah.
I'm here, what else can I find?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the SIFT program works for both of those.
Okay.
So if that's the kind of thing. And what I just said to Sarah really applies to everyone. We don't have to decide literally everything in this session, as long as as long as you have access to the playbooks and you decide what you want between now and next session, we're fine. But this is a good time to talk it out and figure out what's like what your options are. I will say synth is the only stat that is not tied to a basic move. Synth is specifically used for cyberware, or actually it's specifically used for cyberware. For example, for the hacker, since your neural interface is cyberware, you get to use synth for a lot of things while you're in the matrix. But mind is also very important. So and again, look over the various moves. Console Cowboy is one of the ones that you just get, and that is a mind roll. So you may want your mind score to be the 2 when you choose those, because you only get one stat at 2, and then you get 2 at +1. Again, that's very similar to Apocalypse World.
Which, just for the record, I don't think I've ever played a Powered by the Apocalypse game. So
yeah,
throwing that out there.
I have read more than I have played. But this will definitely give you a good introduction to it. And knowing that, obviously, if you have any questions specifically about the system and I'm making assumptions, let me know, and I can help you out with those.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But I will tell you the basic mechanic is you're going to roll 2 6-sided dice, and you will add whatever your stat is to it. So the one that you have a +2 in is a pretty significant advantage. And keep in mind, you have to choose something at -1, so you're gonna be bad at a thing. So Jim, did you say you had a line on a move? All right, which one are we looking at?
So I actually need a little help figuring out which of 2 moves I want to get, because it's so I get automatically a custom weapon, and I'll be picking that out shortly.
Yeah.
But then I get to choose a move, and I've got it narrowed down to one of 2. So one of them that I was looking at was more machine than meat, just because that's how I described the character. So I was like,
actually,
wait, that could work.
It's it's like that was made for you. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, so I was looking at that. It's basically you get another piece of cyberware.
Sure.
The other possibility is mil-specs, which is when you mix it up, you count as a small gang. And I thought perhaps that sounded interesting.
It's one of my favorite descriptions. And it is literally that. Small gang means that you have I won't go too far into the terminology right now, but what it boils down to is you have a scale advantage, because normally when you mix it up, and mixing it up in this case is literally just doing combat, attempting to cause harm to people and things. A small gang has a scale advantage over a single person, which means that it's that scene where where the one person beats up the 10 guys.
Yes.
You basically have the powers of the 10 guys.
I like that scene for possibilities for this character, which is why I was leaning toward that one. I wanted to.
Yeah, either one will work. Yeah. and I'll make sure that you're aware of exactly what that means to act as a small gang. But what it boils down to is, it does expand your combat options, because and if it's you versus just one other person, it's like that person's fighting a small gang, right? So that's not great for them.
So I think I'm going to take that. I think that's
It's a
because
good
that was
one,
the one
yeah.
I was leaning toward. I mean, I wanted
That makes sense.
it's like I want to have like all the cyberware ever, but at the same time, I think that we can go with just the idea of the image of that scene where one person beats up an entire gang is very powerful, and I would like
Well,
to.
and
I'd like to have one of those, please.
unlike the other playbooks, you already start with 2 pieces of cyberware.
Yes.
So you already have more cyberware than anyone else, unless they choose one of the moves that gives them extra cyberware. But so right off the bat, you've got extra cyberware.
Yeah, I know one of them is going to be this. The cyberware is going to be the cyber arm. With implant weaponry, and I almost went for the monofilament whip. I almost did, but then I looked up what dangerous means. What the dangerous tag means. I found the dangerous tag, and I'm like, I don't want to take harm every time I roll.
Yeah, it is possible to take harm every time, you roll, but man, it does so much damage.
Although the interesting thing there, I mean, I might still do it because the other one I'm going to take is dermal plating.
So it might actually effectively protect you from your own weapons.
It might protect me from myself. I have to actually look at it and see how the math balances out.
Yeah, you can,
yeah,
you can make that decision later, but right now you're definitely cyberarm with implant weaponry and dermal plating. That's and both of those fit your description already too. So that works.
Yeah.
So I like that.
So that's basically what I'm taking for this guy.
Yeah. And that definitely influences the your role in the mission. So
yes.
Got it. Will do. Okay, not a problem. All right, make sure you get that on your character sheet at some point, and I will look over those.
I'm gonna throw that in there in a minute.
Yeah, because right now I'm making notes on your characters, but I'm not making. I'm not writing down your moves since you can put those on the character sheet.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
And let's see. So, Anino, did you decide on right tool for the job, or?
So the way that looks to me is that's a default power. Do I have that wrong? Because
Hang on, let me double check. So the one, I give it a driver.
Because I thought the powers were the ones with the little power symbol next to it, and
Right. So the ones that you get by default are wheels and second skin.
okay.
And then you choose one of the ones from the list below that. So
Okay. So there's like a number of powers there that don't have power symbol as a bullet point, I guess.
That is a formatting problem. You're exactly right. So so no, those are not defaults, unfortunately. That was those should have the power symbol beside them. So right tool for the job, just like Iceman above it and Sweet Ride below it are things that you should oh, wait a minute. Nope. That's your driver. Let me double check that. Unless I'm reading it wrong. Actually, I may be reading that wrong. No, I think you're right. I think right tool for the job is part of Hot Shit Driver.
All right, cool.
Dang, it sure is. Okay, never mind. I'm glad you said that. I was reading it wrong. So yeah, you get Iceman, right tool for the job, and Sweet Ride along with that. Dang, nice. That is cool. Okay, and that makes sense because Iceman by itself is not the equivalent of any of the stuff above it. So no, that checks out. So Hot Shit Driver comes with. Oh yeah, so because you got that, you do end up with two more 2 more vehicles. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
So I nicknamed my car
Okay.
the WBV. It's short for what Blue Book value.
Nice.
But in order to take advantage of both right tool for the job and sweet ride, so that I have some social skills or powers,
Yes.
I've got a recreational motorcycle
Okay.
named Greta, which
Nice.
I will use. And it's really funny because this nondescript guy Bill is going to actually dress up and have like a full-on helmet, so no one ever really sees his face.
Yeah.
But they're just like, that guy is cool. What is
The motorcycle does the work for you. Yeah.
Exactly. And then I decided that I'm going to have a basically the cyberpunk equivalent of a Huey helicopter.
Nice.
that I will affectionately name Baracus.
Also good.
So I just imagine Jim's character just getting deployed from one of those things.
Oh, you could just just open the side door. That's it. Yeah.
That is exactly how I was picturing it.
Yeah. Doing that Kusanagi landing, just with the one hand on the ground. Yeah.
The 3-point
that's it.
landing.
That's it. That is the one. We will make sure that happens more than once. And that's a good point. So that does mean that you have the opportunity to not only fly your team to places, but also to use that helicopter during missions. So I like that idea a lot. Okay, got it. And thanks for helping me clarify what that move does. I had been reading it wrong, so nice. The good news is, so I guess now you could, as the rules are stated, you can use Sweet Ride even in the helicopter somehow, if that applies. But I like the idea that for the most part, the motorcycle is the one you use when you're trying to impress people. So that's cool. It's the opposite of the
Toyota Corolla.
Yeah, it's like if you want to be noticed, you're like, oh, now I need to get Greta. Got it. Okay, that's cool. So is that that's it? So it's Hot Shit Driver along with Second Skin and Wheels. Nice. Okay. And let's see, you've got neural interface. So your only cyberware is neural interface. Right. And you can choose 2 of the tags for that. If you need help on what those tags mean, inaccessible partition, have you read or seen Johnny Mnemonic?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so inaccessible partition means it's even inaccessible to you. It is it is made to carry data from one place to the other, entirely securely. It doesn't mean it can't be hacked, but it's very difficult. Let's see. I will have to look up what multitasking does. Encrypted means that it will be very difficult for anyone to because it's your connection to your vehicles. If it's not encrypted, it is easier for people to disrupt that connection or to hack it or put stuff in it you don't want, things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I have neural interface too. What did you say inaccessible partition does?
Let me read it directly from the book.
Thank you.
Actually, because that's probably the best way to do that. And while I'm doing that, if anyone else has any questions, let me know, because it's going to take me a minute to find that one. So here we go. That's it, right? Okay.
What does S-harm mean?
S-harm is stun. So it is darn. hold on. Hang on, let me get in there. I think it's, let's say it's S-harm, right? Yes. Okay. So S-harm is stun damage, which is just what it sounds like. It doesn't actually it's probably won't it probably won't alter your harm clock. The harm clock is what happens. Like you take a certain number of damage, and the harm clock is a countdown to how actually debilitated you are. But it could still force you to make what is called the harm move, which is listed in the basic moves section, and I can go into detail on that. So, but at its most basic, it just means that it is it will stun you instead of actually damaging you.
Gotcha.
And I am in the wrong place for that partition thing. Sorry about that. Hang tight.
Mm-hmm.
I may have pulled up the wrong file.
We will never forgive you. Never.
I know. I'm bad. All right, let me
You
try
shall
this.
go to Silicon Hell. Be baked in the fires.
Well, while I'm looking that up, if anyone else has anything else, I'm going to have to go through to the actual book as opposed to the PDFs, because I forgot to put that one up because I am a genius person. All right, so hang tight. Let me.
I think I'm going to. There is a chance that just simply for aesthetic reasons, I may actually have to switch my choice.
Okay.
Of from mil-specs, which I know I really want to be able to count as a small gang, but I may actually instead start with the more machine than meat, just so that I can get the neural interface, because I'm now picking through things, right?
Yeah.
And apparently, if I get a handgun, it can be linked.
True. It
So
certainly can.
I'm thinking now. Because again, as the idea is, this was like a former security cyborg person of some kind, and so like it seems to me the aesthetic would be, I mean, it could have a shotgun or a rifle, but it seems to me more of a handgun type deal.
Here we go.
But yeah, you'd probably have a neural interface to make it work, and then I would add like automatic and high powered to it so that it would do more damage. So just the idea that I can, because I looked again at the definition of auto fire, and I thought to myself,
Yeah. And again, like I said, you won't be punished for not choosing something. It just means that's the thing that you're going to do.
Only in my soul will I be punished for it, because there are so many things. You're right. You're very right. This game has so many neat options.
Yeah, it really does. Hamish did a good job of, actually maybe too good of coming up with the lists. All right, so inaccessible partition means it has a courier mode in which the implantee cannot access the data being recorded, stored, or transmitted. So it is literally that. It is it's one of those things. It's for a very specific kind of mission. Like if you and this comes directly from Johnny Mnemonic, which was a short story by William Gibson, also a movie starring Keanu Reeves. But it's basically what he was a courier. What he did was he had a section of his brain that stored information, and he didn't know what it was. The people on either end had the key that could unlock it. So this would be basically the same thing. So inaccessible partition is for a very specific kind of mission that you may not be interested in. As a driver, probably not. It might not be the thing that you want to do.
That's a really terrifying concept.
It is, yeah. It does mean that you can legitimately tell people that it's like, hey, even I can't read it. Once I deliver it, it's yours. Now, having said that, it is possible to hack into it. It's just very difficult. And
It would probably be after you're dead.
Yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah.
And just to tell you exactly what the book says, encrypted is if it's encrypted, it is resistant to hacking. The MC must make a move to subvert the encryption before making a move to hack this cybernetic device. So I can't just jump in. I have to try to get past it.
Okay. And then high capacity and high speed.
Right. So high speed allows you to, here's what it says. Allows you to stream and access data much faster. Okay, duh. But but what that
Thank
means,
you.
yeah. But what that means is, let's say you're in the middle of hacking something, and whatever it is that you're doing, that would be the point at which you would remind me that you have that tag. If you do, like if speed is important, you remind me that you have that tag. And you could get the jump on, for example, if Black Ice was trying to get you, or even if like a physical security team was converging on your location and you were trying to get the information, that kind of thing. It would give you the chance to, if you didn't have that, it would just be at regular speed. High capacity greatly increases the storage capacity of the device. This is useful for storing, uploading, and transporting large quantities of complex data. We get to decide what a large quantity is. Although, given the fact that we're playing a game set in the future, what's large to us is probably small to your characters.
Right.
But specifically for a hacker, you will be able to loot more pay dirt from corporate archives and locally store more recorded data. So it would keep me from...
So do I want the external hard drive or do I want the faster internet speed? Basically?
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you have high capacity, like if you didn't have it, there would be times when you would say, hey, I want to definitely get this thing. And I would say, that's great, but you've only got room for the thing that the mission calls for. But if you have high capacity, you're like, I also have this extra drive. So you can store that. So that's exactly it. So yeah, the tags are pretty much what they sound like.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just kind of wanted to make sure.
Always good to check. And the tags are one of the things that are least well defined in the initial chapter too. So I'm glad you brought that up. And while we're talking about this stuff, we do have something that you need to decide about your cyberware. And Jim, specifically, you're going to have to answer this question more than once.
What's wrong with my cybernetics?
There may be something wrong with your cybernetics.
Can I hack his cybernetics? I mean,
it is not impossible. It depends. Yeah.
Why would you say that? I am perfectly safe.
Excellent question.
Perfectly safe.
So the thing that you need to answer, because each of you has at least one bit of cyberware, and the thing you need to answer about your cyberware is why did you get part of your body cut out and replaced with electronics? Some suggested reasons are prosthetic, forced, loyalty, enthusiasm, which is one of my favorites, necessity, junkie, genetics, career, ideology, memory, and military. Again, those are not the only options, but those cover a lot of the reasons that you would get it. So, and again, those are just suggestions to kind of point you in right directions. It's like what is it about you and about your life and about what brought you here that has made you have at least one piece of cyberware? And the second question you need to ask is, how did you afford to have someone cut out part of your body and replace it with electronics? And for this one, you have three choices. The first one is that you scrimped and saved to buy it yourself, which means something is wrong with it. And I will give you a list of negative tags to pick from. You will choose one negative tag for Scrimpton Save to buy it yourself. The other one is someone else paid for it, and now you owe them, which means you're owned. Chances are it's a corporation. You could pick one of the corporations that we have already. In fact, I would recommend picking one of the corporations we already came up with. And the last one is you screwed someone over to get it. You're hunted. Again, that might be a corporation. It could be something else. It could be, just another operative out there or whatever. So be thinking about why you have your cyberware and and really for me, I choose those from the one that I would have the most fun playing because it will come up. If you're owned, for example, Sara, you mentioned that Valkyrie still works for the security company. I'm not saying you have to choose this, but she already works there, so maybe she's just
I wrote that down. Like that's like
already done
for it. Yeah,
done. Yeah,
done.
So that one made the most sense from your background.
Yeah.
And since you said you already work there, you might as well get some cool story stuff out of being owned by that corporation. So perfect. Okay, well that was easy.
So I have a question about the cyberware. This is maybe hand wave it at it like it's just a game. It works, but for the cyberware, when it's talking about like jacking in, is this like physical matrix physically jacked in, or am I, there's a piece of my body that is technology with which I can jump in via Wi-Fi into stuff? Like, or
that
is
actually
matrix?
That's one of the central questions of the game, and we get to decide that.
Awesome.
Meaning, and actually, as the hacker, you get to decide that. Really, how do you see that working? And
I like the idea of Wi-Fi, so that you can get this remote thing. But at the same time, if you can get a physical connection, things would be maybe easier or smoother, kind of like, Wi-Fi versus wired connections.
Right.
Today.
And that actually, that has actual real world analogs. So you could do it either. So both options are possible. And each of them has obvious advantages and disadvantages. For example, the physical connection requires you to be on site or at a specific place.
There's an episode of the show Leverage. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
I am currently on my third watching of the entire series.
So it's the inside job where Parker goes rogue and like Hardison needs to get actually in the building to hardwire in. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are times when one of them is actually there are probably going to be times when like you don't even have the other option. Like, for example, that inside job where it was a closed system. And then other ones there. So I like that idea. I like the idea that, you have something in your head with like, you literally have like Wi-Fi access in your head, and actually in your head. Like sometimes, and I'll make sure that this comes up. So like sometimes, you want to do it the easy and fast way. So you could do the Wi-Fi, but other times, like maybe in order to bypass certain security or whatever, you'd have to get your buddy with the motorcycle to take you there or something like that.
Hey, can I borrow Greta for a minute?
For a hot sec.
Bring her back. Yeah, that's kind of how I was imagining it, that it's like there's the two ways of access, but it's just...
I like having both ways. Yeah.
One is the fast way and one's the...
Exactly. And this is the kind of thing that's going to come up both during this session and during actual when we actually start playing is these questions will come up. We're like, hey, how does this work? And then we're like, I don't know. How does it work? And we all figure it out. And then that's what it is from then on. So yeah, I like that. It's so essentially like it is right now, only with better technology. So Beans, do you have any thoughts on your moves or cyberware? Okay.
I've gone back and forth like several different times.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm like, oh, this, I did it, I got it. And I'm like, like it's changed like several times in the last 5 minutes. But what I'm thinking of going with is cat burglar, but like master of this but Master's Disguise is my other move.
Nice. Okay. Good combination. So like once you're in, if you need to, you can switch to pretending to be something else.
Yeah.
And again, this going back to leverage, it was usually like Elliot and Parker would pretend to be a lot of different things over the course of a mission. All right, so we're doing cat burglar, and let's see, got it. So master disguise.
I keep thinking every time I hear that, I think of that movie.
Oh God, with Dana Carvey.
Dana Carvey.
Oh wow.
Let's hope you're better than that. That's
the goal.
yeah. When you roll. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, so Master of Disguise. First off, just fictionally, it means that you are very good at disguise. But mechanically, okay, so we haven't gone into the clocks, and I'll go into that more when we start playing. But there are two different clocks, one of which is the action clock, which means really, if the action clock gets to what's called midnight, which is to the to its end, it means that things have gotten so hot for you, you probably have to just back out of the mission and try to get away with your lives. Your Master of Disguise is one of the few moves that can actually push the action clock back. So like once you're in there and once you're infiltrating stuff, if things have been alerted, as long, and again, you have to roll a 12 plus on a fast talk, which doesn't happen that often, but it is possible. It means that once you're in there, you have a shot at convincing them that the alert level that they're on isn't necessary, and you could smooth it over. They're like, the guy with the clipboard's here, everything's fine, or whatever. So I like that idea a lot. Okay.
Yeah, I think kind of what I'm going for is that like this character has probably messed with a few people. Like has gotten really good at it.
Definitely.
And maybe it's coming back to bite them a little bit.
Very cool. And I like the combination of cat burglar and Master of Disguise. It's like once you physically sneak in, you've got you can do some you can do some of the face stuff once you're in there. I like that.
Yeah, I like the balance because I was gonna go full face. I was like, nah, I want to be able to like sneak in too. Like
that's a nice combination.
Do both of those things.
Very cool. And you already get covert entry, so you've got your cool kind of ninja skills on that one too. And did you decide you were going with skill wires, or did you want to choose something else?
I wanted to go with the skill wires. I like the idea of like being good at a variety of things and being able to add and change things out. It was the most
perfect
like things I could play with, and I think I'm like that's gonna be helpful.
So I like that a lot, and that fits really well with your Master of Disguise. Like if you've got a skill wire that helps you sell that, then you get you can get a bonus on that and attempt to push that clock back. Very cool. Okay, so we've got does anyone still need to pick moves, or that may be it? Am I leaving anyone out on the moves? I think we're, and Sara, I know that you have more, actually, Sara and Anino, you have more detailed stuff to choose from, both with your vehicles and your deck. So you can, and the programs also. So you're not required to have all of that nailed down today. As long as you know generally what you're, you clearly know what your focus is, and we can worry about the details between now and next session. So, but it sounds like you got your
funny
moves.
Is she's gonna go for the performance deck, which actually has a 2 to stealth instead of the other one that has a 1.
Oh, that's funny.
So she has slightly higher stealth just accidentally.
Yeah. She was just like, this just happens to be the deck, so it's
like I was building this, and like there was just a connection there, and fine, I'll take it.
Also, maybe like at some point, even if it was subconscious, she realized maybe she needs that to balance out her natural
Yeah.
proclivities. So yeah,
Like,
nice.
Just make their appearance on their own terms, not on.
yes.
Right.
Exactly.
So are you is Valkyrie a just like a sysadmin for like what is your what's your day job for Tortoise?
I think they are probably, oh god, this is like so terrifying. It's like everything that I'm like afraid of.
Level 2 support desk.
Yeah, oh, gosh.
Ouch.
So you don't take the first call. You take the call if the first call doesn't.
Yeah.
First responder.
Oh
doesn't.
no, I know exactly what they are. They are like that person that gets all the escalated calls. I want to talk to a manager.
Oh, that's it.
They
Yeah.
get those calls.
Yeah, you spend
And
a lot of time
stuff.
talking to Karen. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I talk to Karen
Yeah.
all day, and
Okay.
that's all I ever talk to. Yeah, so that's why I mean, Valkyrie wouldn't feel bad about attacking Tortoise anyway, but definitely doesn't feel bad. She does
Nope.
not get paid enough to deal with Karen all day long.
Not anymore.
She
Yeah.
does. So she's just gonna take what she can get.
Yeah, this is you're taking your hazard pay. Got it.
Mhm,
Okay.
for sure.
I had that job once.
Yeah. A friend
I
of mine
kind of
did
have
too.
that job now.
Yeah. Yeah, a friend of mine had that. He used to work for Dell, and the less said about that, yeah, the better. He may be watching the stream right now. If so, Jeff, I apologize.
So sorry, Jeff.
So let's see, what else do we have? Oh, so we still need to answer. Valkyrie has answered her cyberware questions. Valkyrie is definitely owned by Tortoise. We got that.
Mhm.
Anyone else on your
Got
cyberware?
a little like turtle tattoo somewhere amidst the circuitry.
Oh, of course. Oh, that's even
Yeah.
better.
I can make this really easy.
Yeah.
I am also owned by Tortoise.
Nice. And
and-
Tortoise is.
High
I mean,
five.
you could have worked for any of the corporations, but I will agree that Tortoise is the one that kind of makes the most sense.
Well, I think
So-
there was one thing that I think was said about it, that they sometimes they're in the business of providing people,
Yeah.
security people. So I think
And
I
you
was
are one of those people.
one of a line of cyborgs they were coming out with.
And man, if they send you in, that is a very special job.
Yes,
So
I have a very particular job that I do for them.
ooh, don't you though? All right.
Sometimes
and,
I don't remember what the job was, but
yeah, the thing about being owned is you can choose owned for all of your cyberware.
Oh,
So as opposed to the suggestion from the book is if you choose hunted, then your the suggestion is to be hunted by a different person for each piece of cyberware.
Oh, nice.
If you choose hunted
Yeah.
for all of them, but owned just makes sense for
Yeah.
all the cyberware.
I'm thinking that the cost is owned.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I think the why might, and actually now that I'm thinking about it, I was supposed to be one of a line of them. There may not actually be a line of them. I think this was as a result of a military contract.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think why might actually be it could be forced. It could be military. It's actually kind of like, I'm not sure because
It's
I don't remember.
6 of 1. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't remember why, but I think if we wanted to, for backstory purposes, say it's probably actually military.
that makes sense. And the Tortoise is one of those companies that it's like Blackwater. It's one of those companies that also will, if you're looking to overthrow a government, we have the people for that too. So
Yeah. Yes. So I go on special missions, and sometimes they remember to make me forget, and sometimes they don't, and it doesn't really, it's just like, okay.
looking forward to seeing how that plays out. That'll be fun.
It just makes it whenever they forget to wipe my memory of that, then it's like the next coffee. Then the water cooler conversation gets really weird the next day. What did you
Indeed it
do
does.
last? What did you do last weekend, John? Oh, I killed a dictator. It was very relaxing.
It was very liberating.
Yes.
Yeah, right. That was to go back to Leverage. They had between seasons they had all been doing their own stuff, and Hardison says, "Yeah, I've been I hacked the White House, and it turns out we've been doing some really hinky stuff in Pakistan. How about you, Elliot? What did you do? I was in Pakistan.
I was in Pakistan.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's one of my favorite moments in the whole show.
yeah. Man, Christian Kane. I wish I had his
Delivered
timing.
that. Oh my
So
gosh.
good. Every time he reacts to Parker, I rewind it.
Nice.
So-
Perfect.
It's been forever since I've seen that. I need to go there.
yeah, it's
So-
yeah.
it's on Amazon with ads right now. If you have
Okay.
access.
But yeah, I think basically I like the idea that I'm actually that like I'm possibly I'm either a prototype or I'm a model that is like there was supposed to be a line of me, but there's not actually a whole line of me. At
Even
this
better.
point.
Oh, that's
Because
good.
either
That's very
maybe
good.
their contract with the military broke down, so they got one.
Yeah.
Or something like so. It's like I like not because I want to be special per se, but because
Yeah.
I think narratively that would be interesting.
I like that idea.
If like I'm like the only one that Tortoise Corporation has
Yeah.
relatively
I like the
full
prototype
control
idea a lot.
over.
Yeah.
And
that's good.
it's like if they want more, they're gonna have to make more deals to
Very good.
to get another one.
The alpha model.
Yeah, I could be.
Yes.
Not even beta testing.
No, you're just
Still in
Or,
alpha.
yeah, this could be a RoboCop situation where it's like I'm the first one where it worked. So
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
they
you-
did.
I think you are.
Yeah.
In fact, what some of the memories they wiped may have been observing the failures of some of your brethren,
That's possible.
That's horrifying. I
Yeah.
love it.
or actually they probably sent you in to take care of them. They'd gone
Yeah.
rogue.
Maybe.
Yeah, I like it.
I don't recall, but probably, yeah.
It'll come up. We'll
I'm sure
we'll
it'll
do those.
I'm sure it'll come
Okay.
to me.
All right, so that's your cyberware. We need cyberware for the driver and the infiltrator. What were your reasons for getting it? And
So Bill's reasons are for career and Raven Sports.
nice. Were you in fact a Carmageddon?
He is a
Competitor?
washed out Carmageddon competitor.
Okay, used to be. Got it. All right.
Bill is
Yeah.
so valid. I love him so much.
The reason why he was rejected from it was because he wasn't flashy enough and he wasn't violent enough. He was too good at it.
Yeah, he was too efficient. He was just calmly and laser focused winning. Right? Is that the?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
basically it.
Nice.
He wasn't excessively violent with it.
He didn't make good TV.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
God, that hit so close to home.
Well, it goes with the comment about, you're going to be prepared to be whelmed,
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean,
So-
Bill is basically me, but then toned down like an extra 3 or 4 steps.
Got it. So are you still owned by Raven Sports? Do you or did you screw them over by leaving?
He didn't really leave. He's sort of like that character from The Office where they sort of just forgot about him.
Yeah.
He's still like on the payroll due
Yeah.
to some sort of like snafu, but they sort of just lost track of him.
Got it.
because-
So every now and then they come to you for something. But it's not your old career by any means. You're still in rotation, and what would that be? What would you if you're not the I wonder. Just throwing a suggestion out there. You know how in boxing, you've got people on the undercard.
Yeah.
In order to do that, maybe you've been relegated to some of the races that don't make it on TV anymore. Things like that.
Yeah.
Qualifiers.
Or he's just like cleanup crew where he sort of drives the wreck or tries to pick up and salvage
Yeah.
the
Ooh.
wreck.
Oh, I like
afterwards.
that. I like that a lot. Okay. Yeah. So you still do work for them in some manner, and we'll figure out what that is over the course of it. But I like cleanup crew a lot. Um, do you want to get back to the big leagues, or do you what's your feeling about where you are right now? I guess.
He's burnt out on that.
Okay. Just
Armageddon
done.
lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
That it'll tie into one of his directives, though.
Yeah, we'll bring that up then. Okay, and we'll get to that actually pretty soon. All right, so in that case, we still have the infiltrators cyberware. So what's your story?
So Mouse totally conned a guy.
Oh, nice.
Totally like schemed like this like big suit guy, like totally high up, and just like promised him all these things and did not deliver on any of them.
Ooh, very
And
good.
It's definitely like oh, and definitely I don't think I said what company, but it's Dreamwear.
Okay, got it. And so he is so that's great. You were like and which you have the skill wires, right? So you were like yeah, give me the skill wires and I will do X for you, and then you're like, see ya.
It's like, yeah, I'm like definitely like had like a whole different alias.
Of course, that's
like
perfect.
Definitely is like worked at a bunch of different places. Is kind of what I go with this character. Like is not like tied down to any particular company. No, like real alliance other than really himself.
Right, and
it's just...
I like that. I like that for your character too, because I mean, you can literally disappear. You're just like, no. So yeah. So this person's looking for you because you affected his bottom line. Like he missed a promotion or something because you didn't come through with what you said you were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah. So it was somebody from Daydream that is after you on that one. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's
Daydream Corp. We make your life easier unless you screw us.
Unless you screw us.
Pretty much.
That's it. Although technically, I mean, if you're dead, your life is very easy. You have nothing to do.
That's a fair point.
This is true.
So I think that's it for that bit. Let me get over to yeah, we've got you can choose gear and again, you don't have to choose that right now. But
I have a question about gear.
Yes.
One of my options is armored fridge.
Yeah.
Are we talking legitimate refrigerator here? Like,
oh yeah.
What and why is my questions.
It comes it's in there for the same reason that monofilament wire is. It comes from a very specific story.
Okay.
And unfortunately it's not one I've read. I don't remember if it's an anime or what. Or it might be a novel. But armored fridge is an option. But basically it's armored in that you could keep some stuff in it. You could even hide it in if you had to.
It specifically calls out that it's immobile.
Yeah.
I just Googled this. So this is like basically a callback to that Indiana Jones movie where
the fridging.
Yeah.
So if your home's about to get blown up, you could
jump
dive into your armored fridge for safety.
Yeah, and then you crawl out of the fridge. So yeah, it's I don't think a lot of people choose that one.
Gonna take the flashy motorcycle instead.
Nice. Oh, so we got two people with motorcycles. I love it. Okay.
You only survive the fridge if you have drunk out of the Holy Grail. It's very specific. I'm just saying.
Very cool. And like I said, you're we don't have to do the gear. The gear selection is pretty straightforward. I mean, if you already know what you want, go ahead and tell me. But otherwise, just between now and next session, make sure you know what you want. But again, yeah, if you have any questions about it, for example, why is unarmored fridge in here? Definitely throw those out. Let's see, what else do we have? Let me get over to. All right, so that's gear, and we can come back to gear if we need to. Another thing to think about, and this is something that you don't have to. We've already talked about a lot of it right now, honestly. But definitely think about your character's background. Like we already know, like I think each of you, actually, we already know about your backgrounds. You've each come up with really good backstories. the different places you've worked for. Along the lines, we don't have to come up with anything right now, but again, even not even necessarily between now and next session, but while we're playing, do think about the kinds of contacts you would have, the kinds of circles you would move in, things like that. And again, we've already decided a lot of that for your characters. We already know, like the two of you that work for Tortoise, you've already got that. And similarly for Bill, I mean, you still work for Raven, so you've got those, those are the people that you're around all the time. I would guess mostly drivers, but also mechanics and sports people, and even like marketing people and stuff like that for Raven. So think about that stuff, and when it comes time to choose contacts during the game, that's sort of where you'll be focusing on. But the next step, and I think Bill might already have at least one, is to look at your directives. If none of the directives in your playbook work for you, I can give you a list of other ones to choose from. But like I said, I think Bill's already got one or two. So did you have some that you were thinking about?
Oh yeah. So mine is going to be vengeful. So when I harm Raven Sports or
Got
their
it.
interest,
Okay.
mark experience.
Nice. Okay, so you're after them. Okay. And let's see. You can choose. Well, actually, you must choose a second directive. So do you have another one you want?
Yeah. So I picked intimate. So when I put my friend a blank, I had of the mission, mark experience.
And you don't have to fill in that blank right now. If you have an idea, go ahead. It can be one of the other player characters if you want. It could also be someone you make up. And more to the point, it could be someone you make up on the fly. You're just like, that person's my friend now, and fill it in. So however you want to work it.
Well, if Sarah's character has a motorcycle, and
does.
they have that in common,
You definitely
you know,
do.
yeah, maybe they ride together on occasion.
Oh, I like it. Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. So Valkyrie's going to be your friend in that for that directive.
Yeah, sure.
Nice. Okay, I like it. Anyone else with the directives?
Valkyrie's gonna take illustrious.
You know what? I thought so.
When your
I didn't
desire
see
for
that coming.
fame draws
Yeah.
unwanted attention to the mission, mark experience.
100% saw that coming, and I was hoping you were going to take that one. Good. Okay. So, all right.
Apologies in advance, everybody.
Yeah. That's it's how it goes. I like that a lot. Do you have an idea for your second one?
I'm flipping back and forth between network and revealing,
Okay.
both with Tortoise Security as the option.
Makes sense for both. Yeah.
I don't know if necessarily her work experience with Tortoise would necessarily end up hindering the mission. So I think maybe when they uncover more info about just like how deeply networked everything is.
I like that idea. Okay. Yeah, that does seem to fit with the way you've been describing her too. I think that works. So, too curious for her own good in some cases. So, but also maybe you can sell that information to other people once you find it. So that's cool.
Yep.
All right. Nice. Okay. Let's see, Jim and Beans, any ideas on your directives?
I'm having some struggles. I'm not really sure if any of them super fit.
Okay, and I have encountered that myself. I can give you some other options for directives.
Yeah. The only one that they have might work is the financial one when you hinder the mission for a chance at extra profit.
Okay.
Maybe, but I feel like it might. I don't know.
Yeah, and if that doesn't fit with your idea of the character, then you have other options. Let me get over to the here we go. Okay, so There's one called behavioral. Describe your ethical code when adhering to your code hinders the mission. Mark experience. Compassion, when you put your compassion for the powerless ahead of the mission. Mark experience. Deceptive. Is deceptive already one of your options?
I don't think so.
Seems like it should be for the infiltrator. I'll read
It's
that
not.
one too.
Right.
When your lies about your identity or your past put the mission at risk. Mark experience.
Yep, that one.
Okay, got it. All right, that one just makes sense, especially with the way you got your cyberware. That's exactly what how that is.
Yep.
Okay, so that's one. Let's see what the other. There's one called filial. When you put the advice of blank ahead of the mission. Mark experience. We already have financial. Hierarchic is when you improve your standing or impair a rival standing among blank. Mark experience. That could be a corporation or some organization. Proselytizing, I don't think really fits. That's more for the pusher, but I will tell you what it is. It's describe your belief system and when you persuade others to act according to your beliefs. Mark experience. Let's see. You've heard illustrious, and that does not fit.
No.
That is not your MO. You're not like, everybody look at me. That doesn't
It's
seem
the opposite of what I want.
Yeah.
Nobody look at me.
No, exactly. There, which is why you chose deceptive. So there's intimate, when you put your friend blank ahead of the mission. Mark experience. Masochistic is when you suffer one or more harm. Mark experience. And then network, when your membership in blank hinders the mission. Mark experience. There's protective, when you put your responsibility to blank ahead of the mission. Mark experience. I do like prudent, when you resolve a charged situation without violence. Mark experience. Rejected is when your former membership in blank hinders the mission. Mark experience. Let's see. Revealing is when you discover more information about X. Mark experience. Vengeful is when you want to harm blank or their interests. You get experience. And the final one is violent, which again doesn't fit your character. It might fit Jim's, but it's when you deliberately choose to use violence to overcome a problem when a non-violent option exists. You mark experience.
I think I'm gonna go with rejected.
Got it. And do you already have an idea of what your former membership was in? You don't have to. We can come up with it later, but
yeah, I think it might be something separate from like the other companies.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It could be it could be a smaller organization. It could be another company. It could be whatever.
Yeah, but they've definitely dabbled in a lot of different things for short periods of time. They haven't settled down in one area, and at one point or another, someone's going to get pissed off.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That sounds like their MO, really, because it's the way you got your cyberware. You've pretended to be so many other things, and one of them, for whatever reason, either is angry at you or wants you back. Or whatever. It's the I used to be a member of this ninja clan, and they want me to rejoin or whatever. Something along those lines.
Yeah,
so,
was it a gang or something? I don't know.
Oh, I like the gang idea a lot. Actually, maybe we'll do that. But again, we can decide that later. We can actually decide it in the moment. Like once we're playing and we see a really good opportunity for this to be the thing to kick in, you can say that's the organization I used to be a member of, and we'll do it. Nice. All right, so that leaves us with the killer.
Hi.
Hello.
So
you're very polite.
I've made some absolutely. That's in a way that's a directive as well. I have so many directives, but I don't know about all of them, actually.
Oh, my gosh, that's even worse. Yeah.
But probably not. I don't know. So I've been listening and trying to figure out for certain, and I think I've made yet another brief little equipment change as a result of one of these things. So one of the directives I think I'm going to take is masochistic. When you suffer one or more harm, mark experience.
Yeah, that's something that's gonna happen.
I am definitely getting the monofilament whip.
Nice, even better. Do it. Okay.
I have an XP battery. Only good things will happen when I use this whip. One way or the other.
You're in the middle of a fight. Why did they give me this? Okay, so masochistic is one. Any ideas for your second one?
So the ones that I have listed, I have proselytizing, which I'm not doing.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah.
I have network and I have protective listed as possibilities.
Do you want? Do you have any ideas from? If those don't fit, do you have any ideas from the ones I already read, or do you want me to reread any of them?
I have a couple of possibilities. It just depends on how we want to fit things into other things, right?
Sure.
So so like I could see a possibility for network just simply because my membership at any point, this would be more of a story thing, where my membership in Tortoise Security might hinder the mission, because it might be something I did at some point, or something from my past could come up at any point,
and maybe you don't remember it.
So that's a possibility.
Okay.
Protective could mean that I have someone that either. I was thinking it could conceivably be Valkyrie, since we work for the same company, where it's like
possible. Yeah.
Okay, now have to protect you, that kind of thing. The other possibility of the ones you were reading off, I was thinking about violence, but the weird thing about that one is that it's not that. It's a question of how we define voluntary. And is that a player-facing thing or a character-facing thing? I think is really the question.
Actually, we could make it.
He's not. He's not interested in hurting people.
No,
he doesn't necessarily want to hurt people, but he will on instinct.
But his programming might take over, and you could do it that way.
That too.
Now, I will say I do like the idea, since we keep making the RoboCop references. I do kind of like the idea of it being Valkyrie, because one of your programming, one of your more important programming things is to protect employees of Tortoise, and it brings us back to
protect the customer service person.
Yeah, and it brings us back to the "you're fired" scene from RoboCop. So
it does. That's true. And I was figuring it was either that or you've already hacked me at some point.
Even funnier. Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Yes, we're friends. I can't remember when we met, but we're friends.
Into that, I put that piece of programming in.
Yeah, you just.
It's like I think we were always friends because, but
right, you just tinkered with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I.
Definitely an option.
I can't, and the only reason I think I can't remember why us meeting and becoming friends is because I think that's something they wiped.
Yeah,
but in fact, that's a memory that never existed.
No, that's great. That could work too.
You think it was collateral damage from some of the other memory wipes?
Right. Yeah, that's probably why it is.
But yeah, if you want to do it that way, that would work. But I also like the membership idea. Like the networking could be definitely tweaked.
There's just so many possibilities.
Yeah, and again, like I said, you don't have to make that decision now.
What do I want to do the most to turn it into an XP bank? I think that's really the question.
Well, yeah, you already got. Yeah, exactly. And it's a combination of what will actually give you XP and what's going to be actually fun for you to play. Because I've accidentally been stuck in with directives that I ended up changing later because I realized I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want my character to do those things. So if we get into that situation and this happens to any of you, let me know and we'll switch stuff around.
Yeah. I feel like I guess we can talk about this more later, but it's I feel like it's gonna be it's either gonna be protective or violence.
Okay.
And
either of those we've come up with really good reasons for both of those. So I think that'll work.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, well, in that case, the only thing we have left to do, and this is the one that we must do together, is to come up with links between your characters. So the way this works is, and I talked about this a little bit earlier, but basically what happens is each player will describe a job that your character did against one of the corporations that we created back in the first step. You will describe your character's role in that job, and then name the corporation that you ran against. And this will be something that you played a major role in. You were critical to the job succeeding, and it will probably be a job that succeeded. It doesn't have to be. It could be a job that totally went to hell if you want to do it that way. But generally speaking, it'll be a successful job if you want it. And once you name a corporation, I start what's called a countdown clock for that corporation. And what that means is that corporation, the higher a countdown clock is for a corporation, the more they are aware of you as a group of people. Because at least some of you who have harmed their interests are in the group. And then once you have talked about that job and I start the countdown clock, the player to your left will tell you how their character was involved in the job. They take +1 links with your character. And note that someplace. I think there is a place in on the character sheet. Good. So note that you have +1 links with whichever character that is. Now, this is the player to your left will take +1 links with you, but it's not reciprocal. Right now, it's only in that direction. And then I will also advance that corporation's clock again. So each corporation that you choose will have at least 2 advances. But 2 advances isn't that much. 2 advances means they are aware of you, but they're not actively hunting you. Then, once we've done that, the 2 of you were in that job together. The other 2 characters going around the metaphorical table you get to decide if your character was involved in that job. If your character was involved in that job, you also take +1 link with the person that initially came up with the job. And then I also will bump that countdown clock up again. So just to let you know, that is how you will, and links can be used later in the game if you're trying to help each other. It's got a bunch of different mechanical options. So the higher your links are with a certain character, the more options you have for interacting with them. And it also, like I mentioned before, is going to determine exactly how angry specific corporations are at all of you. Because if one corporation keeps getting picked, it could they could be literally gunning for you. So let's see. Right now, let's going. Since we're going to the left, it'll be counterclockwise. So let's start with Valkyrie. And the way this doesn't fit anyone else's, I think, but the way that I see everybody on my view, Jim, you are to her left.
Okay.
And then Anino, you are to Jim's left. Beans, you are to Anino's left, and Sara, you are to Beans's left. So, and I'll remind you which characters those need to be later. So let's start with Valkyrie. Pick a corporation and a job that you did against them.
So, go back there. I think it was against Monolith Commerce.
Got it. Okay,
And
so I'm going to start the clock.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And it was a major DDoS attack
Very nice. Okay.
against them. But Valkyrie, they were a major player in making that happen.
Got it. So did it like screw up online ordering for a day or something like that? Is this the one people are still talking about? Like
yeah, for sure.
Like the day Monolith went down and I couldn't get my stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it was like
okay.
a day, like it was this day of a disaster where like Monolith completely went down. Orders like the delivery drivers couldn't figure out where stuff was supposed to go.
Wow, got
People
it.
couldn't
Yeah.
buy things. People couldn't sell things, and like the world freaked out about it.
Got it. All right. So in that case, Jean, in what manner were you involved in that job?
I think security of some kind, probably. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
from maybe Valkyrie had to get somewhere to
Yeah, I
get
feel
in
like,
somewhere.
especially with something of that nature, like she would have had to be in a building.
Yeah, she had to
This
be
would
on
not have
site.
been done
then-
remotely.
Yeah,
That's true.
I
Because
got her in and
if
out.
they're going to protect
basically.
anything, they're going to protect that. So you're exactly
Yeah.
right. I think that's it. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's 2 ticks on the clock right now for Monolith, which again is not that bad. I can give you some details on that, but I will. They are aware of you. It's possible that they are not aware of your names, but they are aware of your actions. So they and because this was a big deal, they're definitely looking for the people that screwed up their stuff for that day. Bill, were you involved in that job?
You're muted.
I'm going to say that Bill used that opportunity. That was a crime of opportunity for Bill, where he was able to hijack what is now his bike.
Nice.
Greta.
Yes.
And coincidentally, the bike that he hijacked was a Honda Rune, which is a limited edition Valkyrie.
Oh, even better. Very nice. It's synergy. It all fits together.
It all fits together.
That's nice. That's nice. Okay. Let's.
And we'll say that that Honda Rune that he hijacked was destined for a very powerful executive who is now missing a particular vehicle from his collection of
love
vintage motorcycles. So it's personal. And I think Brian is frozen.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
That's not good. That's not good at all. Maybe he's just deeply contemplative. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
really,
very-
really thinking about
Yes,
Really
that's-
thinking about
crimes.
that one.
It's a very good. It's a very good. It's a very good pose. Just a very
It's
good.
a good thinking
Just
pose.
deep
I've
in
seen.
thought.
Oh no.
He's back.
There we go.
There he is.
You're back.
Wow, utterly lost my connection on that
Ooh.
one. That sucked. Okay.
You were frozen in a very good pose, though.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear it.
Oh.
It's a lot of thinking. A very thoughtful.
Wow,
pose.
that was weird too because I'm glad it jumped back in that quickly. I apologize to what undoubtedly has probably screwed up the overlay though. All right, so
Oh, no, actually,
back
we're
to that
good.
one.
Oh, it's
All right,
good.
Yeah.
Hooray! Okay, so I apologize. So yeah, the last thing I heard from Bill was that the motorcycle was also a limited edition Valkyrie.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
called, it was the Honda Rune. And
Nice.
It was supposed to be a gift or an order for a very powerful executive within the Monolith Commerce.
Perfect.
And so right now, Bill is riding around in, some VP's
Yes, exactly.
stolen motorcycle.
And it's because it's so flashy, it's extremely recognizable. So
Yes.
yeah, it's very nice. Okay, Mouse, were you involved in that job?
Nah.
Got it.
Like maybe not involved in the job, but maybe reaped the benefits. Like they just walked in
Sure.
and like got some snacks. And like, we had a good day, and just kind of watched. She's like, I'm gonna sit this one out.
I like the idea of getting some
still-
snacks. You literally like came in and got some popcorn. You're just like,
Yeah, like, oh, this is
Just to
so
watch it.
good. Like, oh wow, oh, really? Mhm.
very cool. Okay, and that brings us to John. Pick
Hey.
a corporation that you did a job against.
Which corporation did I make sad? Let's see.
And
Did
it,
you-
yeah.
I feel like, let's see, who did I, basically it comes down to, against whom did someone put out a hit?
Yeah,
I
actually.
think.
You're exactly right. Yeah.
So it's probably, I think it's either going to be Daydream Corp or Raven Sports. It's going to be one
Okay.
of the two. I think that somebody somebody stepped out of line in a very
Okay.
public way and needed to be silenced.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Understood. Okay.
And I had a nice chat with them, and they've not said anything since.
Indeed. All right. So do we want to do Daydream or Raven?
So like I can, on the one hand I can see like maybe
Yeah.
like an out of control athlete being a problem for folks, but that is kind of
Oh.
high profile.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that they'd want me to necessarily slay the person, but there'd be a lot of talk about it. Daydream, on the other hand, does marketing.
Yeah. Largely marketing and advertising. Yeah.
So it might have actually been I feel like the more realistic option would have been. While I love the idea of the sports figure stepping out of line, I think probably the more realistic one is that it was someone on Daydream's marketing team.
Okay. And not that it would have been impossible in the other direction, but given the fact that Bill must be involved in that one, making it not
Making it not the Raven Sports probably makes it easier for that to happen. I think he's gone contemplative again.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
It's interesting because he freezes in these positions that are just so
Very
perfect
good
for
position.
Yeah.
He's like, huh.
Yeah.
Never like mid-word or, with like one eye closed.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
having
it's
a good think.
It's a good thoughtful kind of thing going on there. Damn. We're very close. There we go.
man, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. You went contemplative again.
Yeah, I know. Apparently I do that a lot. Okay, so
Easier to
so
hit
in
Daydream
what
than
manner was
Raven
Bill
because
involved in-
Bill will not have to hit his own people.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Yes.
So in what manner was Bill involved in that hit against Daydream?
I airdropped him into
Oh, of course.
his job.
Yeah, you did.
Love it.
Okay, that was easy. That just makes sense.
Oh, I see they're filming the cola ad down there.
Boom. Nice. All right, so that leaves brings us to Mouse. Were you involved in that one?
Think so. Like, I'm
Okay.
probably like the inside man.
Oh,
like,
nice. Okay.
Like making sure like he can get in the building. Like I was already waiting. Like it's been like 5 minutes. Like where were you? Like I feel like Mouse is very familiar with Daydream.
That makes sense. Okay, I like that.
Spent a lot of time there.
Yeah, you were literally there to open the door. Okay.
Mhm.
So Valkyrie, were you involved in that one?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not really up her alley.
Yeah, it doesn't
so.
it doesn't have a lot of their skill set. Okay, so in that case, Bill, which company did you hit, and what did you do?
Good question. I want to say that he hit Tortoise Security.
Okay. Start a clock for Tortoise. Got it. Okay. And what did you do? Yeah, as
So that Huey helicopter that he now owns,
yes.
that was stolen from one of their lots.
Oh, nice. Okay. Okay. So the job was just like, I want that.
He was just like, Bill was just sitting there thinking, I need to really diversify my methods of transportation.
It's like,
And
yeah,
I really think I could get some work done with this
absolutely.
Huey helicopter.
All right.
Yeah.
And so, Mouse, how did you help your friend Bill on that one?
I mean, he had to get in there.
Right.
Like he didn't just walk up and say, "Excuse me, could I have a helicopter, please?"
Exactly.
Like Mouse would be like, "Listen, this is how you do it. This is how you talk to people. This is how you get in. This is how you go to steal the helicopter. You got to know who you talk to."
Perfect. Okay. Got it. So once again, you were literally the inside person. You just
Yes.
you're like, here, do these things.
Mhm.
So Valkyrie, did you assist in that one?
Oh, absolutely. I think
Because it's tortoise.
yeah, of course. I think Valkyrie helped. They got some of the like Mouse got built physically in the building.
Yeah.
Valkyrie then helped kind of on the back end with deactivating some security systems.
Nice. That makes sense. Okay.
And maybe flubbing around with like the serial numbers and such, so that
Oh yeah. Ooh,
he,
even
later
better.
on he could be like, "Hey, no, this can't be your helicopter." I mean,
No, yeah, like flip
Yeah.
some serial numbers around, like switch to 1 and a J so that it's not the same thing. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, screw with the database. I like that.
Yep.
I like that. Perfect. Okay. And so, John, did you have anything to do with that one?
Not that I recall.
No, I will. Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
I will point out you were working for Tortoise. You could
Yeah.
have been on the other side of it. You
Yeah, I feel as though I was not. I don't think I was. I don't think I helped.
you were you were probably like legitimately unaware of it, as opposed to having been involved and being made to be unaware.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I like that. Okay. All right. So that brings us to Mouse. Which company were you? Were you instrumental in a job against?
I think Alpha Solutions.
Okay.
I don't think
All right.
they've
So we're
come up yet.
So we're going to spread it out, which is probably it's the safer bet. I'll tell you that.
I think each company is something that someone wants from, and I think Alpha Solutions, they're kind of in charge of anything. Everything in Mouse is like, I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a good point, because they largely deal with people, which is really kind of Mouse's thing. So yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, I like that. And it's actually pretty handy that Valkyrie's to your left, because this seems like pretty well into your skill set too, doesn't it? So, well, how did you help Mouse?
What was the actual heist
Oh yeah,
event?
yeah.
Ooh,
So
what were we like specifically trying? What does Alpha Solutions do against specifically?
It's
because it's
There's
such a big
the
name.
Uber for everything.
yeah. It's like if you need something, we can provide it. Anything from a pizza delivered to a brain surgeon, we can bring it to you.
What if it was like something like an inside job where they like screwed up where things were supposed to go?
Yeah.
Like they, because they control so many different things, like everything ended up in the wrong place, and just kind of like futz with all of like the materials and made sure like the delivery person got the wrong
Wow.
spreadsheet,
Okay.
and they're like, cool, we've got everything, and they're just like, wait, we didn't order bananas.
Oh, and that's great
I
because
wanted a pizza.
and because we needed a lawyer, but because it's decentralized, yeah, you just basically threw a big rock into that pool, and they were unable to like literally everything went to the wrong place. So were you hired to screw up their operations for a time, or was this a personal thing?
Oh, this is just for fun.
I love Mouse.
Yeah,
That's
like
good.
this is just like,
Okay,
Mouse is very, very impulsive.
that's good.
Mouse is like, hey, what are you doing on Friday?
Nice. No wonder you and Valkyrie get along.
Valkyrie's like, I don't know. What am I doing on Friday?
It's like, hear me out. What if?
As long
Got
as I
it.
make sure the pizza still gets to my apartment.
Yeah, like my
Yes.
deliveries are still good.
Yeah,
Right.
But
my
it's
delivery's
like-
fine.
It's not only like individual people, but also like big company orders. So
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
large
exactly.
shipment things are like, yeah,
Bingo.
like everything's like just not where it's supposed to be.
Totally.
I'm just having this image of Tortoise ordering a new helicopter, but it ending up at like somebody's house,
Yes.
and the pizza ending up at Tortoise.
At Tortoise HQ. Yeah, that's great.
It's just total chaos.
you know what I think would be funny is if Mouse ended up doing that just so that she can have her weekend catered.
Oh, even
For free.
better. Yeah, exactly. Like,
in her
oh,
building, she's just got like a row of chafing dishes set up. And,
Yeah. Mouse just has like all the delivery came to their place and it's just
Yeah.
perfect.
yeah, exactly. It's like chicken tikka masala for 20. Here we are.
It's like we got wings, we got salads, we got the little hors d'oeuvres.
Got it.
We got options.
We ordered
So, yeah.
dessert.
So the two of you definitely work closely together on that one, so that's good.
Mhm.
I like that. John, were you involved in that one?
I mean, I've been trying to think how that
Not
would
sure
have been
how
the
you
case.
could be. Yeah.
Because unless I like signed for the pizza or something, or I
Thinking it was a helicopter.
You're like, I guess I'll take this.
This is the weirdest
I mean,
looking
I was
helicopter I've
expecting
ever
a
seen.
delivery,
Yeah.
and this is delivered.
It's like, this is DiGiorno.
but
Right.
that doesn't really, but that doesn't actually help with with doing anything against Alpha Solutions, so that probably doesn't count.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Okay.
more of a. I mean, it's interesting because like would Mouse have had to have gone anywhere to? Well, yeah, it's infiltrating, right?
Yeah, that's their thing. So probably.
So if they just decided to go in, I mean, I could have been Lookout
Oh, true enough. Actually,
easily
Yeah.
enough, just as like because it's like someone whom I consider a friend has asked me to help them out and just keep an eye on things and like okay.
Hey,
can
so
do
what
that.
are you doing on Friday?
Yeah.
I have nothing scheduled. I can.
That was
I
the
can-
"What are you doing on Friday" job. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I have a note on that. I think Valkyrie would have made a very concerted attempt to make sure that things like the brain surgeons or doctors or other assistants got where they needed to be, and it was just
Okay.
physical package delivery that got out
Okay,
of
fair
whack.
enough. You were you tried to make sure that no one was inadvertently harmed because of
Yeah.
it. Okay, I got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I like that. And like, it's
Okay.
just like inconveniencing, but not like the people who need their stuff.
Nice.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And that's easily done. Yeah, no problem on that one. So that brings us to Bill. Were you involved in that one?
I would like Bill to be, but I don't think it'd be possible. I want to say that Bill ended up was supposed to do a simple courier job, but he ended up getting sent to.
Oh, he got caught up in it.
He got caught up in it, so he ended up having he ended up getting sent to a place, and had to drive some high schoolers to their prom. So instead
Nice.
of getting a limo, they got the Toyota Corolla.
Oh no, that's even okay. So yeah, you were definitely
it.
you were not intentionally involved. Just it involved itself on you.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, that is all of the steps. So that is everything that we need to do to build the bones of this world and get the initial ideas for your characters. So we did it! Yay! Thank you. And thanks everybody. And we actually came in not too far over 3 hours on that one, so not too shabby. So we can spend a few minutes just making sure we kind of have everything else ready. And between now and then, I will come up with the first mission for you. There are still a few things, I think, for a few details to pick out, like gear and some stuff like that. So look over your playbooks, make sure all the stuff's filled in. We can communicate through Discord between now and then, and figure that out. But if anybody has any questions or anything before we wrap up, let me know.
I actually have one, but it's just for everybody, just so that I make sure that I have this written down for the overlay when we show up next week. I just want to get everybody's characters' pronouns, just so that I make sure I have them and have them straight.
Yeah.
What are Valkyrie's pronouns?
She, they.
She, they. What are Mouse's pronouns?
They, them.
They, them. And what are Bill's pronouns?
He, him.
He, him. Got it. Okay. Cool. And gendarme is he,
You
they.
take down the links, because I totally did not write any of those down.
Let's see. We can reconstruct
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. I think just about everybody is going to be is at least one link with each other. But let me go back to that list. And
So
we'll
is that
make
where we
sure.
put the person's name and then like a one where the little roll?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
I wrote
so,
down. Yeah, I wrote down who did what to whom, with whom. But the only thing I didn't write down is what each person.
And that's easy to.
did.
Well, that we can reconstruct it from that. So basically, John, you have +1 link to Valkyrie. Basically, you will each have +1 link to the person to your left, and then we can reconstruct the rest of it. So, Bill, you'll have +1 link to John. Let's see, Mouse, you've got +1 to Bill, and Valkyrie, you've got +1 to Mouse.
Yep.
So that's that. And then I think, if I'm remembering right, Bill was involved in Sarah's. Sorry. Bill was involved in Valkyrie's job, which means you've got +1 with Valkyrie.
It was the other way around. Valkyrie was involved in Bill's helicopter.
Actually, I think you were each involved in each other's. So
Yeah.
because
Bill was involved in Valkyrie's. Valkyrie's was involved in Bill's.
so you got +1 with each other. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'm just going around the table. I'm
Yeah.
going around the table in the order.
We each did. We each had 2 people help us.
Yeah. So it actually
Yeah, I
works
think.
out.
Yeah. Mhm.
So basically,
John had help from Bill and Mouse. Bill had help
think each-
from Mouse and Valkyrie. Mouse had help from Valkyrie and John, and Valkyrie had help from John and Bill.
got it. And the order in which it goes, and let me double check this to make sure I got it
I think
right.
everybody's got one with everybody else.
I think it's just 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it is. It actually is. Yeah, it worked out that way. Okay. So
Yeah,
nobody
it was always the last person didn't get involved. So that was
You're right.
That was how it went.
So you're right. Everybody just has +1 with everybody else. That's easy to work. Okay, good deal. Thank you.
Great.
All right. Yeah, I like our corporations and our characters. This is going to be fun. And I like the fact that I like the personalities and the motivations are overlapping and conflicting in really interesting ways too. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
All right. And anything that's left that we've left out, we can nail down either between now and next Thursday, or like I said, just over Discord chat and things like that.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
So unless anybody has anything else, I think we can wrap up session 0. Yay! And again, thank you very much.
Yay! Awesome. Okay, well that goes back to me then.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much. This was very cool. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm crazy excited for this. I love these characters so much already.
That's gonna be hilarious.
I
Yeah.
desperately want to see what happens. This is going to be excellent. So we're going to go ahead and go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell where folks can find you. Feel free to plug anything you like, and feel free to say any final thoughts you might have about this session and about what we're getting ready to do. And we will start this time with our MC, Brian.
I'm Brian Cooksey. My Twitter link is right there in chat. And I can also be found. I'm one of the hosts of the Armor Goes Clank podcast. We talk about role-playing games, almost all role-playing games, but also pop culture and a few other things. And similarly, I am really excited. I've been excited to play this for a long time, and I'm glad it's finally happening. And now that we've got this group of characters and this collection of corporations, I'm extremely excited to see where the next 4 sessions take us. Thanks a lot, everybody, for contributing. This is going to be a lot of fun. And for those of you watching, we will be back here next Thursday.
Excellent. Awesome. All right. Let us go back around. And again, we're doing sort of reverse order. So we will go over to Beans.
Hi, I'm Beans. You can find me at Wizards and Beans. Very straightforward. I'm just really excited. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, and I'm very excited. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really excited.
It's going to be so cool. All right, and now let us head over to Sarah.
Hi, I am Sara. I am on Twitter at ArcLight Phoenix. Phoenix has no vowels. If you put vowels in, you'll get somebody totally different. And you can find me usually on Welcome to the Party, Welcome Party RPG. I play in the Neverland game on Saturday afternoons. We're having our season finale this weekend. It's going to be a lot. I'm already stressed. And I am also running the season finale of Side Quests next Monday on same channel at 9:30. I'll be running a game of Lady Blackbird.
Ooh, very cool.
And I'm super excited. Like Beans, I had no idea what I was getting into. And I am pumped as hell about this. This is going to be great.
Awesome.
Yes. Very, very cool. And finally, over to Anino.
How's it going, everyone? My name is Anino. You can find me on Twitter at Anino Gaming. So I just thought it would be funny because a lot of people tend to play over-the-top characters and plan these like really elaborate things and such. So I just wanted to go like on the opposite direction and come up with this Bill.
Just Bill.
Just Bill. You know,
So cool.
totally average, except for when he's behind a wheel. And then, anyway, so I'm looking forward to playing that character and interacting with everybody else's because it's going to be hilarious. You can find me on the Wandering DM channel tomorrow night at 8 p.m. for our next episode of Cyberpunk Red, where I play the opposite of Bill, a rocker boy by way of professional wrestling. Nino. And then I'll be back on this channel for Saturday and Sunday for Invisible Sun and Dark Matter.
Yes, excellent. So now you have a Cyberpunk doubleheader for the next several weeks.
No, right?
Excellent. All right, and that brings it back to me. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. I just am chomping at the bit to get at this. I cannot say enough. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. On Saturdays, we have our Invisible Sun game, The Edge of Paradox, that I'm running. On Sundays, we do one-shots in the afternoons. The one-shot this Sunday will be Weird War 2. That is a Savage Worlds game fighting monsters in the World War II, basically. On Saturday nights, we have our regular Dark Matter campaign, Ghosts of Saltmaw. It's Ghosts of Saltmarsh in Space, run wonderfully by Alyssa. It's so good. And then on Tuesdays, we have on Tuesday afternoons, we are continuing with our short campaign of Alas Vegas, which is a just very surreal and twisted Tarantino / David Lynch take on a hellish version of Vegas, which uses tarot cards and a rotating GM or dealer. And the dealer is James right now, who's going to continue with Act 3. So we're getting closer to the end. Then on Tuesday night, we have our short campaign for April, Monster of the Week. We just had our first RP session, and they're already starting. Things started out a little slow, but they're starting to. I think they're starting to see where strange dimensional things are happening, and I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of where that goes. On Wednesday nights, we are trying to get back to doing our regular Masks campaign run by Molthulu. We've got some real life stuff going on with some folks, so we've been a little bit. There's been a little bit of a hiatus going on, but we're going to try to come back as soon as possible. Could be this coming week, but we'll see. This next coming week, but we'll see. Hopefully that'll be back soon. And then, of course, that's back around to Thursday for more of this. So very much looking forward to that. Within the next couple of weeks, I am also going to be starting in a campaign on Monday nights over on Salty Sweet Games. I'm going to be playing in a D&D 5e campaign over there. I know, right? What? I do actually play D&D, strangely enough. And we're doing Barrier Peaks.
Nice.
So I'm very excited for that, and that's going to be probably starting in like a week from Monday, on Monday nights. So that'll be something to look forward to there. I'm going to have signups open soon for next month's mini campaign, which I'm going to attempt to run for the first time, the actual base game Call of Cthulhu. I have never actually run it before. Played it. But I've run some of the various games using other systems with the sort of the Cthulhu mythos, but not actual Call of Cthulhu. So that's going to be look for signups for those soon. Cool. Not quite ready yet, but anytime folks are wanting to sign up, you just go down below to click on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So, when we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to Tales from the Grim. They are doing a charity game right now where they're all playing Marvel superheroes. They are playing the Marvel Superheroes RPG, the Face Rip system.
Oh, that's the best one.
From long, long ago.
Yep.
That I played once upon a time.
In the before times.
Yeah, in the before times. It is a charity one-shot. Or sort of they've got kind of an Avengers setup, sort of, that they're doing, and so we're going to go ahead and say hi to them. Feel free to hang out if you so desire and say hi to them with us. That, again, will be when we hit the end card. But in the meantime, folks, I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.
Thank you.